What up? What's good? Welcome back to the Legacy Lounge. Special guest today, my man Shawn Williams. Shawn,
CJ.
shouted you out on episode 1.
You did. Man, I was like, okay. I was like, that had me all like hyped. I'm like, okay, CJ. I mean, he shout me out. Like, okay.
It was a little bit of pressure to get you in. So yeah, it was like, if we shout you out, you got to come on now. So thank you for being here.
Hey man, thanks for inviting me.
I appreciate it.
Like the same thing Ronnie said. Like it was an honor to be shouted out. Like I appreciated that just in itself.
Yeah, because you and I, we talked in barbershops. We talked on social media, Facebook specifically. Never hung out.
Never hung out.
Never conversation outside of social media or the barbershop.
So the fact that you would just even have me as one of your first, like that in itself was an honor.
For sure.
And, I think, what's funny too is because like the way barbershops are now, like I remember going way back, like Bill Murray's barbershop. Like the barbershop, even Zori's, like the barbershop was the barbershop before scheduled appointments.
Yes.
To where you show up at 6:30 in the morning and you be waiting outside like you want to be the first person.
It was a fight. It was not physically, but in line to who was there first.
Correct.
Because you might have been parked around the corner and old boy ain't see you. You try to jump in the chair first and, a little argument ensues.
Right.
But yes, before appointments.
My only knock against appointments is like when you look at the Ice Cube movies, like the barbershop movies, like being in a barbershop in itself is just a vibe. Those movies were made on purpose because you're sitting there, you got 12 people deep and you're all waiting for a cut, but then like people are in and out and like stuff's just happening.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the barbershop. Stuff just happens. There's always a story and it's just everyone's talking and it's just like, and it's, you might be like 10th person, like 10th in line, but you're going to sit there and the barbershop's going to entertain you just in itself. So the one thing that I do think that kind of sucks with the appointments is like the barbershops aren't as full.
No, you're missing the experience.
Yeah. But within that, me and you still were able to, like you were an appointment ahead of me and I'm here. And here we are.
It was divine. I mean, so let's just go into it. Let's just go into that. Yeah, we're going to just go there. Into where the Steelers beat the Bills. We're going to go right into it, man. We're going to rip the Band-Aid off.
We going right there. We ain't doing no intros,
no, ain't no intro. This is the intro.
I was talking so greasy,
This is the intro. You was talking crazy to me.
Crazy.
This was the first game of the year. This is when we played y'all first game of the year. Yes, week 1.
And we at home.
Y'all at home, favorites. Him and Tree, big Bills fans talking crazy. So we beat them. That's all y'all need to know. We beat them.
It's funny if I
go ahead.
I don't even know Crabtree like that. But at the end of the day, Buffalo Bills.
Mafia.
It's the mafia.
Yeah.
If he need a kidney, I got him. You know what I mean?
That's powerful.
That's how we are.
It depends on who the Steeler fan is for me. I ain't giving all y'all my kidney. But if the Steelers don't win, I would want the Bills to win. But we'll get back to that.
No, I respect that. See, I know you was like that.
Yeah, but I love the fan base.
No, you know what? I lied.
them.
Because I remember a couple years ago, you sent me a private message and you were like, hey, y'all go out there and win that. After y'all got, I forget how it went, but you sent me a private message. You was like, hey, go get that.
I meant it. I meant it.
You did.
Yeah, I like the Bills. I like the fans. They're jumping through the tables. It's cute. It's crazy. I get it. Not really, but it's cute. So anyway, we beat them. Steelers beat the Bills. Did I say that already?
They beat us.
We beat them. We blocked the punt, scored a touchdown. We did all kind of stuff. So the next week, I haven't talked to Shawn on social media. I didn't troll or nothing like that. I'm in the barber chair. I'm finishing up. We're doing appointments. This is down Zori's. Shawn's right after me. He comes in.
I walk in there. I look at you. And CJ, he got this smile on his face. He's just so happy. It's like the glow a pregnant woman has. So it's just like, oh, dear God, I got to deal with this dude. And it's funny because, like I said, appointments are appointments. The fact that we lined up like that, it's like hitting the lottery. Like, it's not, but lo and behold, and I'm like, dang, I got to deal with this dude.
And what'd you do?
I said, hi, CJ.
And then what?
I went Facebook Live.
You went Facebook Live.
And I'm like, you know what? I didn't plan on this. I didn't want this. And I remember vividly saying, and it's me, you, and Zori.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I just came down here for a haircut. I don't want no problems. Want to get my haircut, and go home, and CJ here, and he's cheesing. He's cheesing.
Yeah, because
it's so petty.
I'm the master troll. Everybody knows that.
Petty spaghetti. Yeah, I mean, there's petty and there's petty spaghetti. It's your guy right here. He's that
Petty LaBelle, for sure. For sure.
But you know what's funny about that whole situation is like, that's always on my Facebook reel. So like, we have the picture of me and you, which was hilarious, but that little clip of me, you, and Zori, it's timeless, bro.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's a treasure.
So, since we're on the topic, we could go there. Impact he had on you.
I didn't realize how much he meant to me until after he was gone. And that sucks. I don't like that. He was just a good dude. And like, the first time he cut my hair was the funniest thing ever. I've had amazing barbers. I mean, me and Bill are I've had amazing barbers. Me and Zori. Like, I never forget the first time I went to Zori, and I'm nappy as all get out, man. I'm out here I'm looking rough. And it was funny. I realized Zori was doing like a marketing thing because he gave me the crispiest cut I ever had in my life. I had to go back to dude. Like, there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. Man, he gave me the crispiest cut. I mean, he had me looking like, you know what I mean? And ever since, and then just getting to know him, he's such a, me and him are a lot alike. He likes to laugh. He likes to joke. He's always having a good time. I tell everybody this about Zori. If you have a problem with Zori, it's you.
100%.
It ain't him.
No way.
It's you. Zori ain't got enemies.
No.
And if he does, it's you. Period. He was just a stand-up dude. And, I'll never forget I'm weird with numbers. Okay, so March 14th was my last cut I got by him. And it wasn't even a week and a half later when and it was like, I'll never forget. I got my cut. He had me looking crispy as usual. I dap him up. And I walked out, not realizing, like, that was it, And in the midst of that, I was helped to appreciate. It gave me a lot of perspective.
Full of life. Life of the party would be like the two things that come up when describing him. Never had a bad day that I seen. And I spent, he cut my hair for 20 years.
And if he did, you didn't know it.
You didn't know it. But another chance encounter I had with you, I ran into you at the services. And you just said you didn't know what he meant to you till he was gone. And I remember I had to walk outside, but I remember watching you took it hard.
I was down bad.
You were.
I have a story. I'm gonna let you finish.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So like, we're going through the line, and obviously Leah is up at the front, and everyone's there to comfort her. Mm-hmm. Obviously, for obvious reasons, and everyone's there to talk about how much Zori meant to them. And I'm going through, and like, the closer I get to Leah, I'm more and more just like, I am not okay.
I'm watching you the whole time. The same thing you're describing.
I'm not okay. Craziest thing happened, CJ. So like, it's my turn to talk to Leah, and she looks at me, and she goes, Shawn, I freaking lost it. I was done. So I love Leah to death. I don't talk to her like I even honestly need to. I need to keep in touch with her more. But like, she hit me with an Uno reverse card, because in that moment, I'm supposed to be giving her comfort. Mm-hmm. In that small moment, that woman's so strong. She took time out to give me comfort. In just one word, my name, she went, Shawn. It was how she said it, and I felt it, and it was just to give me comfort. I'm supposed to be giving her that. She gave it to me, bro. It was the craziest thing ever.
So strong. On the surface, she was like, just, you're watching. It's crazy because we never had this conversation. So this is straight on the podcast. Your reaction made me go outside. I couldn't face her. I cowered it out. Yes, I was behind you. It was me and Mikey.
Yeah, because Mike Lamb was in front of me.
Yes.
Yeah, and then my brother and his wife was there. Yeah. And like, my sister-in-law could tell, because I watched her. She kind of whispered at Brian, because the closer we're getting to Leah, I'm losing. Like, I can't deal. And I couldn't hold it together. I just couldn't, because I realized how much he meant to me. Yeah. And the way she said Shawn, it was to comfort me. Dude, I freaking lost it. And I just gave her the biggest hug, and I just spilled my guts. I wanted her to know how much he meant to me, I realized in that moment it was okay to be weak. You know what I mean? And I think in that moment in that brief moment, she got to help me, which I think ultimately helped her. It was I've never had an experience like that.
And in that moment for me, I felt like a coward. Like I was scared to be weak. Like I walked outside because I did not want to break down.
Dude, it was real.
And I broke down outside, but I did not want to break down in that setting. I just didn't want to do it. But I think it's important to keep the good. I could talk Zori memories. I got videos of Zori dancing and doing the kid and play and break dancing in videos.
Zori was just a kid at heart, and I relate to that so much.
For sure. I think it's important to keep his name alive.
Absolutely.
I always want to do that. And I think it's important to have these conversations, man, because it's funny how a barber can bring so many different people together.
Absolutely.
And the impact that a barber has on our community and neighboring communities. You see how many people was there. That was love. Like black, white, all it didn't matter. It was love.
It was about Zori and what he meant to so many people, and he meant so much to me. I still remember me and like a few others. Anytime the Cowboys and the Eagles played, Zori was always hitting me up. Hey, we're going to Buffalo Wild Wings.
He always had a party.
Zori was a character. This dude brought a whole Eagles like mascot helmet. Okay, we at Buffalo Wild. He up there acting up. Just a complete mess. I love that dude. It would be the funniest thing ever. We was up there. It was me, him, a few other people. Like Jason Wade was up there. I mean, and, he had a diehard Ravens fan. Shout out Jason.
Really, Jason Wade was a Browns fan in kindergarten, but and I got the photos to prove it. And he know it. Yeah, because I'm tired of that Browns. Yeah, Jason Wade is a Browns fan.
Arthur Fleck, you gonna have to get on here.
The Wades was Browns fans. My family
said, explain yourself.
The video is out. Yeah, I posted what he know.
He putting you out there, dog.
Mr. Wade, we go back City Champs 94. Garfield Pride, pass it on. But anyways, go ahead.
Such a character. And I'm just, it's funny. And it's one of those things where like, there were times where like, hey, you know what? And it's up here in Robinson, Buffalo Wild Wings. And I'm kind of tired. And I might just want to watch it at home. Whatever. I'm so glad I just sucked it up and just went. Because to have those memories, because I didn't realize the time was reduced.
Yeah, and you never do.
And it was just, I'm honored that I got to know him. That was a stand-up dude.
Stand-up guy. I'm gonna give you a story real quick. I'm gonna give you a story to illustrate how stand-up he was, and I tell everybody this story. I got married at Virginia Beach, so we were staying down there for a week. We went on a Saturday. I believe the wedding was on a Saturday. So it was 7 days down there, 6 days prior to me getting married. You know how we do. We not fresh after 5-6 days. I got to be fresh in the wedding pictures. I don't know nobody in Virginia Beach that cut hair. So in joking manner, but I'm kind of serious, I'm like, bro, you might as well slide down. Man, give me a fresh cut while you're like, bro. And I wasn't doing invitations. It was if you could come, you could come. I didn't hand out formal invitations. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, bro, I'll slide. He's like, yeah, I'll come cut your hair.
He's like, say less.
I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
He drove down by himself. Not only did he cut my hair, he cut everybody's hair in my wedding party. Like, drove to Virginia for my wedding. We went out the night before. The videos is crazy. I still refer back to when we kicked it. We had a good time, Zori being Zori. But stand-up guy, like you said, he drove to Virginia to cut my hair for my day, and for my and to do the same thing for my guys. And that meant more to me. And I let him know it, but more than he could have known.
It just speaks to his character.
Yeah, for sure.
Completely. That he will always be missed, and it's just not the same without. It's one of the greatest things I can. We were in a fantasy league, like, and one thing that I'll always hold high is like my cousin Michael McIntyre who was heading the league. His last year in the league, Zori went undefeated. He smacked everybody and won the championship. He smacked everybody. He ain't lose a game all year. I mean, that's kind of crazy, fans. I mean, Zori came through and just smacked everybody. And like looking back, I'm glad. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad he did. I just always want to honor him and just he just meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it took me losing him to realize that. And going back to that dap up. I dapped him up on March 14th. I told you I'm weird with numbers, and I didn't realize that was it. But one thing Zori helped me to appreciate is the importance of, living every day to the fullest, and like any interaction you have with anybody, you really cherish it, because you don't know.
You don't.
8 million people went to sleep. 8 billion people went to sleep, but 8 billion people didn't wake up. So if you woke up, the present is the present.
That's powerful.
Just breathing air in your lungs and just waking up for the day is a present in itself.
Yeah,
because that wasn't everybody.
For sure.
So shout out to Leo Armstrong. Shout out to Zori. He will always be very dear to me. That was a good dude.
And shout out to living every day like it's your last, and because you don't know.
And like me and you, like we're in our 40s now, so it's like I was just having this conversation with one of my friends I work with, Brandy West.
Yeah.
And I was just telling her, I was like, we're all at a point in our life, like when you're in your 40s, if you're not moving like you got something to lose, something's wrong. Like you need to be moving like I have something to lose, I'm gonna just avoid this altercation because I don't need that. You know what I mean? I'm in my 40s now. It's like it's not cool to be like, oh, I'm gonna knock this person out or I'm gonna do this. That's just I'm not on that.
Nah, it's reacting off of emotion, and we should know better. We should know better. Anybody our age should know better.
That's what I'm saying. We have wives, we have family, we have children, we have people that depend on us.
Correct.
So shout out to Z. I always, funny. I never knew that I never knew you went outside because you saw how messed up I was. And it's just kind of cool. Like we're sitting there having this organic conversation, and I'm learning stuff that I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't hide it. I'm usually good at. No, I'll take that back. I don't like death at all. Death, I don't do good with it. But like, that was such a shock to me.
Yeah, it wasn't. Me and Mikey never talked about it. Like he paid his respects, and like the closer I got to Leah, the harder it got for me. Dude. Which is the reason why I walked outside. But your reaction brought more out of me. That's why I walked outside. But
and as much as I wanted to hold it back, I couldn't.
Yeah,
I felt like I needed to show her that.
You did what I wish I would have done. You did what I wish I would have done. So let's lighten up the mood a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate you being open and vulnerable and having that conversation with me. Though.
I do feel like as men, we need to be more emotionally intact, kind of like a mountain. But there are times where I do feel like there's strength in being vulnerable. And, you don't always have to act like something doesn't bother you. Like if a death of someone you really love bothers you, let that out. It's okay. It's really okay. It doesn't make you weaker just because there is a strength in your transparency of just showing everybody how much that person meant to you. And I needed to show her how much he meant to me. I had to.
I think that's important though to what you're saying, and that's another thing that I'm learning as I get older. As far as just displaying emotions, and it don't make you any less of a man.
No, it doesn't.
To me, it makes you more of a man.
Yeah,
that you're willing to go there.
Yes, it makes you more authentic.
Yeah.
For the most part, we do need to be more emotionally intact. Women are more emotional, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
They're designed that way, and we need to be more the mountain that they can crash their emotional waves into. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it, but there are times where we do need, and it's like we're done, and we can't, and that's where we, I know you have a really good wife. I'm blessed, to have the wife that I have. And it's like when I'm down, she's there. You know what I mean? I'm lucky she decided to put up with me for 16 years. Shoot.
How long you guys been married?
16.
That's amazing. Shout out to y'all. That's goals.
18. I've known her for 18 years.
So let me ask you this, because I like to solicit advice and feedback from people who've had longevity as far as in marriage, because marriage is hard. It's not easy
at all.
It's very hard work. It's rewarding, but it's hard. Mm-hmm. How have you guys managed to reach the 16-year milestone and it still going strong? Like secret sauce.
Alcohol. I'm done. I'm being stupid. She gonna kill me when she see this. Like, really showing us like that? And like you just talked about, marriage is that old beat up car that you constantly have to keep fixing. It's not perfect. And here's the thing. So like the 26-year-old Shawn, the 31-year-old Shawn, to 37-year-old Shawn, to now 42-year-old, they're all different people.
Right.
Stacy's the same way. So like you constantly change throughout marriage, so you have to constantly continue to figure each other out. It's not like it just stays the same. But one of the biggest things, like for me, is just, I have not been the perfect person, obviously, and I'll put more on me, and I'm not gonna get any details or anything, but like, just, it's important for us as men to be men, and to be responsible and accountable.
I'm gonna challenge you a little bit. I want to dive deeper into that. It's important for men to be men. What do you mean?
Well, first things first, I love, what's his name? Jaquan Lavender.
Yeah, shout out to Jaquan. He's going to be on here too.
Shout out to Jaquan.
Yeah.
I love what he does, and I love giving people their flowers, which I'll get on that too in a sec, but like, he talks about the prudent man, and like, he is big on these young boys becoming men, because, from what I'm seeing, and I'm sure you can agree with me, like, masculinity is on the decline. And
the women are masculine.
And it's got the whole family structure so flipped upside down.
Yeah, I don't want to offend all the women. I don't mean that in a bad
There's
way.
no
It's
disrespect, but men I don't want another you. I don't want another me.
I don't want my wife throwing up gang signs in pictures.
Or like, I'm down and out and she's telling me, you need to man up.
Yeah.
I need what I can't bring to the table.
For sure.
At the end of the day, men have their superpowers and women have theirs.
For sure. I agree 100%.
Women have the power of being nurturers, and we need that. A man, when he's holding down everything he needs to be doing, he's taking care of problems on the outside of the house, he's taking care of things financially, he comes home, he helps on the inside of the house, he's taking the lead, and then he gets to the end of the day and he's just exhausted. And then here comes his woman, and here comes her superpower, and she's just rubbing his back, or she's just, put a beer in his hand, put a drink in his hand, put your feet up here, like. And here's the thing, and this is what I love about what Jaquan does, because like, men need to be men. Like, women respond to masculinity. To your point, where you just talked about how females want to be like more man, like that's not what it's about. Like, you're playing outside of your role. It starts with the man, and we have to be men. So we have to be confident. We have to take the lead. We have to, and women typically, and I've had this conversation with several strong-minded women. Women typically want to be led.
As far as conversations I've had, that's the fact.
By men, not boys. So
talk
when
to
a woman's
them.
dating a grown boy, what happens is subconsciously she loses respect for him. And it might not even be like at face value, but she does. Even a strong woman typically wants to be led by a man. Listen, this took me 10 years to figure out, okay? So like, you ever heard that old saying, it's like, where do you want to eat? Like, you're asking your girl, like, where do you want to eat? Where do you want to eat?
Yes.
Like, I realized that I need to take the lead and just be like, hey, you know what? There's this new restaurant in Pittsburgh. I know you'll like it. Just go get dressed and we're going to go. You know what she said? Okay. You know what I mean? It's our role to lead our women in anything. And when they feel like we're leading correctly and appropriately, a woman, when you create that masculine frame appropriately, if she can just get lost in her femininity, that's all she really wants to. Then she can be a woman. That's what she wants to do. So this whole masculinity thing, it's garbage. It's not the way it's designed. Like, all this is primal. It starts with us. We are the head coaches. We are the leaders. And it's so important for us to take the lead across the board. And one of the best things you can do for your woman, and this is something that took me a long time to figure this out, is do the right thing without being told. Just do the right thing. And she will respect you so much more, because it's like, once again, you're taking the lead. You're asserting yourself. You're being confident. It's like some crazy thing happens, but you just jump in, you take the lead, and you handle it, and she didn't even have to say anything. And it's exactly how she would want it. But like, she knows you did it in regards to the benefit of the whole family, for her, and she knows that, but it didn't even get talked about.
Talk to these boys out here, Shawn. Talk to them, Shawn.
But she knows it. When you can do that for your woman, I mean, she will respect you on levels that it's just. But like once again, like what's happening in today's culture, and it's so messed up. Like these young boys, there's too many dangers. You know, it's just there's too many ways to just be comfortable. Whether it's like, I mean, too much alcohol, too much porn, too much drinking. It's just so easy to just be comfortable. And where there's comfort, there's no growth. And men have to grow. I'm not saying women don't have to too, but men have to grow. We have to build ourselves. We come into this world with no value. Typically, a man's highest value comes from like 30, 35 because he has to build himself. They want men. They don't want boys. And when they're with a boy, that's red flag number one. It's not what they want. But when they're with a man, so many women don't even understand how much womanliness they have in them because they've never really been with a man. But when they get with a man, like, they almost get giddy because now they can be women. A woman wants to feel comfort. They want to feel secure. They want to feel safe. It takes a man to do that.
Say it again.
A boy can't do that. It takes a man to make a woman feel safe. That's one of the biggest things a woman wants, to feel safe. Safe, secure, comfort, stability, responsibility. There's two things a man has to be. He's got to be responsible and he's got to be accountable. Accountability is the key to everything because then when you're truly accountable to yourself and not accountable on a level to where you're like kind of hard on yourself, where you're just honest.
So accountability is one of those words that people put negative connotation on.
It's where you want to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even at, a couple jobs, when you hear the term hold people accountable, they think, oh, I'm in trouble. Nah, we're just holding you accountable to the standard that we expect. It's the same as a man.
Yeah.
Accountability is not a bad word.
And within accountability, when you're truly hold yourself accountable, that's when you get the answer to a lot of questions. Because you're not, oh no, well this happened because this person did this or this person did that. This, that, blah, blah, blah. No, I messed up because I did this. That's on me. I'm going to change it. It's just as simple as that. Just hold yourself accountable.
So, your parents still together?
Yes.
So you had your dad your entire life?
I had my father, I had my mother my entire life. Their situations were not what me and my brothers were. So, like, they did leaps and bounds in regards to family structure. Like, my dad didn't have his, like, my grandfather left him when he was like 12. So that was really hard on my dad and my aunt. And then my mom, see, like, a lot of the McIntyres, like, they're all my family. Like, that's all my family. And my mom was one of 9. She's right in the middle. And so there wasn't a whole lot of love getting passed around, and it was dysfunctional. Like she's told me some things, but was it perfect for them? No, but like they did leaps and bounds for me and Brian in regards to like what they have versus what they gave us. And at the end of the day, when it comes to generations, that's all you ever want to do is do better than your parents did.
Did your dad hold you accountable?
Oh yeah, for sure. And and like he doesn't even realize it. Well, he realizes it now because we had talks, and I would tell him all the time, like, okay, so between my father and then my boy Terrence Smith, his father, and then Travis and Brandon from their father, we always seen hard workers. So we as black kids, like we seen that. So all of us still to this day, subconsciously, we always just work hard to provide for our family. That was deeply encoded into us.
So you see what you're saying, and this is why I wanted to get there. The impact Jaquan has with the prudent men and on the up and coming men or boys transitioning to men. And I can tell how passionate you speak on it. But I can, I would assume your dad instilled that in you. And I say that to say the importance of having a male figure around to raise a young black man.
Yeah.
Or man in general, but we're specifically,
exactly. Yeah. And, like, my father, he's hilarious because he'll always kind of look back and play Monday morning quarterback and feel like, well, he didn't do this or he wasn't here enough. I said, Dad, you did the best you could. And that's all that matters. You did your best. That's it. And I make it real simple. Same with my mom. Like, Mom, you did your best. You weren't taught much, but you gave us so much more. And, coming back, because you and Rodney on the episode 1 talked about like giving people their flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this, I think it's so important that everybody makes sure that they give people their flowers, because it's human nature to like, so we go through life and we're doing everything we're supposed to do, but you never just pull someone to the side and help them, talk to them and appreciate how good they're doing. There's this saying, and it goes like this. It's like, once I did bad, and that I heard ever. But twice I did good, and that I heard never. So like, you go through life, you're a really good father, you're taking care of your wife, you're taking care of your family, like you're providing, but no one's ever saying anything. But it's like, sometimes it's nice for you to be pulled, but the second you do something wrong, they're on you. And it's like, but that's human nature, and like we all do it. It's so important to just pull someone to the side and just really talk with them. But like, hey, you know what? I'm watching you, and I see how you do this. You're doing really good. Hey, man, just keep it real genuine. People need to hear that, and so, like, I had this conversation. I had a specific conversation with my dad, and I had one with my mom in regards to just everything, and I wanted them to know everything that I know that they've done for me. And like, they know that I appreciate it, but I wanted to just say it. And even in regards to like Rodney looks at you and he looks at someone who he can get some free game from, and he looks at me the same way. But I want to give him flowers too, because, and I know I can speak for you on this one. I look at Rodney as goals and starting a business and doing all that. Like, that stuff is kind of scary to me, but he did it. So if, for as much as he wants to talk about how he looks at us as people who can give him wisdom, I'm looking at him and I'm like, yo, I'm trying to be you one day.
My last cut, I told him, I think I said it on the episode with Elder Jet, but I asked a question, what advice would you have, to somebody aspiring to be an entrepreneur? And paraphrasing, but he said, do it, just get up and do it. And I told him when I got my hair cut, I'm like, bruh, that's what we doing. Like, we doing it. We just got up and we got up and we're doing it. But I watched the clip back. I'm like, man, that little gem was so powerful. He didn't overtalk. Do it. What you waiting on? I'm like, what am I waiting on?
Same thing during the cut, my guy. He told me that same thing. And then I heard his TikTok, and it all made sense. He was like, the TikTok was like, the magic that you're looking for is in the action you're not taking. And I was like, oh dang. And I talked to Rodney about this because I have this bad habit. I have everything laid out and I know what I want to do and this and that, but and I've heard a few people use this phrase and it resonates so much. There's a paralysis of the analysis. You do all this, plan this. I know I want to do this, I want to do that, and you're like, yeah, and I got it. And I'm always talking to Rodney about what I want to do, but I'm not doing it. It's a paralysis of the analysis. Like, you gotta get in the game. You gotta get into it. You gotta make mistakes. You should be happy that you make mistakes so that you don't make the mistakes anymore.
Yes.
You should be excited to fail.
Yep.
No one's excited to fail. Be excited about it, because then you just learn something. The only true failure is if you fail and then you're like, hey, you know what, screw it. Then you fail.
Bro, you preaching. You preaching. It's funny because
Bro, I got 42 years of messing up.
The conversations
all I'm trying to do is mess up.
I have with the people that I'm involved in this with is almost verbatim what you just said. And we're growing, so when we talk to each other, like, it's okay to fail. Like, good, let's get that out the way so now we know it's a lesson.
Yeah.
That's a great outlook to have.
And with our kids, how many kids you have?
I have 3 girls.
Yeah, 3 girls.
Mm-hmm. Pray for me.
No, listen, because, we all watch Bad Boys too. We know the scene. So you call me up, okay? I got you. Okay?
Yeah.
I got you.
Shout out to Catone, Uncle Mike. I don't know if you know Catone, but if you did, you would understand.
So you good?
Yeah. How about yourself as far as children?
I have a daughter and I have a son.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter's she's almost 12.
Okay.
And it's like she's becoming a woman.
Okay.
I'm not okay. And I know you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, very well.
I'm not okay. Because we know how these little crazy boys think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm Martin Lawrence. Bad Boys too, okay?
So my oldest will be 17 on Saturday. Jeez. And I talk to her like she's an adult because I'm trying to prepare her, to, as a man, as much as I can, help her transition into a woman. and just let her know the things that she's going to run into and the things that she see. I won't sugarcoat it. You know what I mean? I talked to her, and that was hard for me to even come to that realization. But it's my duty because I have to protect her, and this is my best way to protect her. I can't do it physically all the time. So I'm going to give you the game.
It was so funny. I was like 22 years old, and I was still living. I was at home till I was 26, but like, I'll never forget the one day I was sitting in I walked in the kitchen table, and like my dad, he had something on his mind. I forget what was going on, but I'll never forget that he talked to me, but he talked to me different. He talked to me like I was an adult. He didn't talk to me like, hey, son. He talked to me like, hey, I want your input on this. And it was the weirdest thing ever. It was the weirdest thing ever. Like, he talked to me like I was an adult. And that was kind of like a transition for me, too. It was just like, oh, okay. It's like that, you know.
So I want to touch on upbringing. We talked about both parents, yourself and your brother. Jehovah's Witness, correct?
Yeah. And it's funny because we and you talked, because I mean I've been one of Jehovah's Witnesses. I was raised that way, down on 5th Street, right? Is that 5th?
North 5th, yes.
North 5th.
Kingdom Hall. Yeah.
The fact that you were there, and I didn't even realize it. There were so many people that came to that Kingdom Hall. Monty Barnes, shout out to Monty Barnes.
Vinny West.
Greg Barnes, Vinny West, shout out to Vinny West. Like, I mean, like, there were so many people down there, like the farmers. Like, I mean, like, I grew up with like the Caesars, the Biscarriage. I mean, there were so many people down there. And it's just like, it's so crazy. Funny thing about Michael Allen, because that's who you used to study with, right?
I studied with Michael, yes.
Yeah. Do you realize Michael Allen is the reason I'm a Bills fan?
No.
Facts.
Do tell.
It's 1990. Okay. We're at a gathering, like, I mean, like, we're all there, and like, Michael Allen, he's rooting for the Bills, and it was funny because like, it's right before the kick, Bills Giants. Right before that kick goes wide, right?
Scott Norwood.
Yeah, they go to like a commercial break, and I look over at Mike. I was like, who you rooting for? He was like, yeah, the Bills. I said, and I was like, you know what? I'm 9 years old. I'm rooting for the Bills too. You know what I mean? And sure enough, and ever since, I've always just been a Bills fan.
I want to add context to that. So my mom studied with Jehovah's Witnesses, so people can know what we're talking about. You grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. Your family Jehovah's Witness. I was never officially a Jehovah's Witness. I wasn't baptized into the religion, but I studied with them every Monday.
For a long time too.
A long time, yeah. My sister did as well until she was old enough to make. Well, my mom let us make our own decisions as we got older, but when we were younger, we were there 5:00 on Monday. I wanted to go. I live right next to a basketball court. I wanted to go hoop, but my mom didn't play. She, we studied the Bible. We studied with the Jehovah's Witnesses. We went to the Kingdom Hall, not every Sunday, but we went to the Kingdom Hall. It's crazy. We're a year apart. When I'm talking to you before this, I'm saying I'm rattling off names just like you just did. Like, we probably knew each other at the Kingdom Hall, which is crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
I miss, like, I mean, like me and Monty's grandma, Carletta Barnes. She just a gem. I miss her. I called her once because Monty gave me her number. There's so much history back then, but it's just so funny that we were there and we didn't even realize it. It's just the funniest thing ever.
So how was that?
It's, everything is Bible based, but like, I mean, to be honest, like, there was a lot of protection in regards to just like kind of being within that structure. It kept me out of a lot of trouble.
How? Because I know you had friends inside, the twins and Terrence and all of them. How did because it's hard to understand, Jehovah's Witness if you're not. So like the outside friends that you had.
I grew up on Overlook Hills, which is very suburban, but like I had a lot of outside friends. And like, I mean, the Matterns, Dailies, Jason DeBenedetto, I mean, Kyle Minifield was out there for a little bit. Like, I still had outside friends too, but like, it's so funny because like, and I know me and you can kind of vibe on this one. Like, we're cut from that cloth that like, we played video games, but we were still outside.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like today's typical, kid is just inside online,
playing video
games. Not doing anything. But we were at least out in the elements.
Yes.
Just doing whatever. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's almost like a lost art. It's like, be outside. Like, it's so funny because I look at my son and my daughter, and I'm sure you can say the same. Like, they're so plugged into these computer devices. I feel like we were the last generation that, like, did we play games? Absolutely. But we were also like, experience in life. So, you know, I mean, I had a lot of friends in my neighborhood, and I have friends to this day in the congregation. So, you know, it's
Are you still in the congregation?
absolutely.
Okay.
I just find it so funny that you were there and I didn't realize it.
Yeah, it
It's
was.
just freaking hilarious.
Yeah, and I knew you were, and you're a year older than me. You graduated 2000.
Mhm.
Yeah, I graduated 01. So I don't have memories. I remember the farmers, Miss Gwen. I remember.
Shout out to Aunt Gwen.
Yeah, shout out to Aunt Gwen.
That's a
I
gem.
remember Terrence Smith, and I told you Michael Allen and Caroline, and
Yeah, me, Travis, and Brandon, like we all.
so
I mean,
I'm sure we knew. I'm sure we ran into each other. We had to.
yeah, we did.
But
And
that's
I just
crazy,
can't
yeah.
remember. You know what I mean? But it's just like that congregation down there. I mean, shout out like Brett Smith, his sister Beth,
Mhm.
Ryan Hayden. I mean, like Miles, like we were all like, dude, it was legendary. You don't realize like you're living your best life until you're not living it no more. It's just like, oh, like that was a good time.
When you look back at things,
Yeah.
and
Here we are at 42 and 41, and now I'm on your podcast.
yes, you are.
It's just
On the Legacy Lounge?
It's just insane, dude. You know, and it's like you've helped me because, like, in regards to growth and like I've got my TikTok, and I'm just Shawn on there. And anybody who knows, the reason I said I'm just Shawn is because anybody who knows me knows who I am. I'm a clown. I like to have fun. I like to goof off. I like to be stupid, but I also like to have deep conversations. I like to talk about financial freedom. I like to talk about. I like to look at somebody and help them see potential in themselves that they don't even see. You know, because everyone has something, and like I'm about to get real deep now, but like everyone has something very special, very unique that's only tailored to them. And we're on this planet for a very small time. And to me, it would be a travesty not to really investigate that to its entirety. Like to me, that would just be like a complete crime. Like you owe it to yourself to really see that thing through. This rat race is cool and all, but it's like who are you? There's this book that I read. It's a super dope book. It's called Your Money or Your Life, and it's big on like finances. But there's 2 points I want to bring home. The one cool thing, so it talked about this. So say you make $20 an hour, okay, and say you see something out there that costs you $200. For you to get that, you had to use 10 of your actual life hours to achieve that. That's your time. It took 10 hours. 10 of, like you're not on this planet forever. So for that $200 purchase, you make 20 an hour. It took you 10 hours of your actual time to get that. So when you look at things through that frame, it helps you to appreciate. It just kind of helps you save money more in general because you realize everything you spend money on, it took your life energy. But one of the dopest things in that book is it asks this question. And it was like, if you didn't have to work for money from a monetary standpoint, what would you do? And like, I had this conversation with my aunt, and she was like, well, I'd be in Bora Bora, like in a tiki hut, living by, I was like, Auntie, like, it's not about that. What would you do? What's your purpose? Why were you put on planet Earth? If you don't have to work for money, what would you do? And it's not a question that you're supposed to answer right off. It's a question that you should sit in like a dark room and meditate and really try to figure out like who you are, you know, to your core. And like everyone has something very special inside of them. And I feel like everyone owes themselves the right to investigate it and find out what that thing is. Everyone's got something they're very special at doing, you know, and they can just do it. You know what I mean? Some people are musically inclined. Some people can make people laugh really easy. I mean, everyone's got something. You owe it to yourself to investigate that and really see it out. And maybe you can monetize it like whatever. But to just stay stuck in this rat race and not really go there, like you're just cheating yourself.
So I'm curious as to your answer to the question. I'm going to assume that you sat in a dark room and meditated and thought about an answer to the question.
I had to.
And,
you know, like for me, anyone who knows me, like I love to make people laugh. Shawn's always stupid. I'm goofy. Like I am a 42-year-old child. My wife can confirm that one. Okay. Period. But I love to motivate. I love to be inspirational. I love to talk about financial freedom. I love to talk about like finances. I love to help people see what maybe they don't even see themselves. Like I'm so big on that. I'm so big on like financial independence because it doesn't get taught in schools like it needs to. And so many of our youth are just, they're throwing themselves in all this consumer debt, and it's just not healthy. It's just not. Like, I had this conversation with this one girl I work with. She already had an crazy car payment. It was like maybe like $700 a month. And she was talking about, well, when I get my big girl job, I'm gonna get up in this Tahoe and it's gonna be like 90 grand. I'm like, are you nut? Like why? Like, why does consumer debt make you happy? Consumer debt, it's like hugging a cactus. It's gonna hurt you. It doesn't make it. And this is the big thing. Like, there's instant gratification and there's delayed gratification. And our youth, our young ones, get so wrapped up in this instant gratification. But see, delayed gratification is different because you have to work toward that. You gotta be disciplined to get to the reward on delayed gratification. Just a real simple example. So it's like, I see this thing, I want this product, but it costs this and that. I can swipe my credit card and just get it, or I can wait a month, save up the money, and pay for it cash. That's delayed gratification, but no one does that.
I want you to explain or define what financial freedom means to you.
It's the ability to be caught in a job that's kind of like a rat race, but knowing that at any point you can just walk away. There was this book, it's called two of them, The Millionaire Next Door, which is phenomenal. And then, what was the other one? The Simple Path to Wealth. I forget the author's name. But basically, he was just inspiring people to have what he called, I won't use his term, but he said have FU money. But I'm like, I'll just say have screw you money. Because I can't be on her cussing, or Juanita going to be on here pulling my ear. She's going to be like, no, we don't do that.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
But all jokes aside, like, financial freedom is being, first and foremost, consumer debt. Like, it's poison. You don't have to finance a car for like 70, 80,000. Like, you don't have to do it. That is a choice. And then once you make that choice, and and what most people do, unfortunately, it's like, I'll get this car. We'll finance for 8 years. We'll do an 8-year prison term. Interest is killing me. And then we get to a point where I still owe like 15 grand on this car, but it's a jalopy at this point. So now let me just refinance into something else, and I'll just trade this in, and I'll take this 15 grand of debt, and we'll throw it on the next car. Like, you are a slave. You are a slave. And all you're doing is making these banks rich off your time. And I think one of the biggest things I want the youth to realize is like, really do a breakdown of your statement. So whatever you owe, and you see this amount of interest you're paying each month on whatever purchase you made, and to calculate, because one thing I talked about that book, Your Money or Your Life, so if the interest is whatever, those amount of hours you work in a week are just for free. You're a slave. You don't have to be a slave. You know what I mean? We can be smarter. We can make smarter choices. Like, you can, you don't have to jump into a brand new vehicle. I'm not saying you don't have. It's just about being smarter with money. Period.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. What I like is the application of knowledge, is where the true power is at. Because so many people know this stuff, but they don't apply it. They know it, but their emotions take over. But when you actually apply knowledge, that's where the real power is at.
And when I say knowledge is power, is because you're right, but a lot of people don't know it.
They really don't.
Because we weren't taught it.
They weren't.
My mom can't, my mom can't have this conversation that the game that you're giving right now, because it wasn't taught to her, and so on and so on. And to put our kids in the right position, and I always say that to even up the playing field, starts with the knowledge, starts with the game that you're spitting. Yeah. And then what they do with it is on them.
It's on them.
It's applying them is on them, but it starts with having it. To be able to make those decisions.
And I know I keep going back to it. I love what Jaquan's doing, because like that is so necessary. But in a lot of situations, it's like the youth have to burn a little bit before they learn. And I was the same way. But I will say, I was in a situation where, like, so me and Stace, we were in this like debt elimination mode. We was going crazy, which is killing it for like 10 months. Like, we paid her, like, she got like a 2018 RAV. Like, it was paid off way before it needed to be. We paid off all this debt. And then I run into a situation where I don't have a steady job. I still had all these other jobs, so I was good, but I didn't have a steady job. And what happened is like in that moment, I was good. And it was so liberating because I wasn't at the mercy of anybody. I didn't know anybody. And it just felt good. Like, it's nice to know. I tell everybody this, like, in regards to, like, finances, everyone should be on some type of budget. A lot of people don't do that. And it's something even I need to work on, but everyone needs to be on some type of budget. A lot of people feel like budgets are restrictive. No, they're not. They actually give you free reign to understand where your money's going. It's like you hold your hands like this and you put water in it and water's leaking out. But when you kind of hold them tight like this, see that's a budget. See, now no more water's leaking out. Now you know where everything's going. And you need to know where every dollar's going. Because like my dad, like he coined this one phrase he was talking about. Like there's so many like broke millionaires. On the books, you work 50, 55 years. That's just saying person made $2 million on the books. Ain't got nothing to show for it. Broke millionaires. What did you do with it? Well, it's a game out here. And this country, this government, they ain't worried about you. They want you broke. That's how they make their money. We got to be smart enough to understand. I tell so many of the young people, like, stay out of debt and invest. During the pandemic, 2020, the average person in a freaking sheer panic of, oh my God, we had to buy up all this toilet paper. Let's buy up toilet paper. You know what smart people's doing? Is buying them stocks. Because the stock market, they like to use the term it crashed. See, everything's in the verbiage, okay? Car, crash. Plane, crash. Train, crash. It sounds horrible. Stock market, crash. And everyone's freaking out. Honestly, you know what happened to the stock market? It went on sale. I mean, I'm talking about like you could get bargain prices on like commercial type. I mean, like Carnival, Royal Caribbean, like airplane, like Delta. These, and I'm telling you, the wealth, like the smart amount of people, they weren't buying toilet paper. They were buying these stocks at bargain prices. But see, everything's in the verbiage. So when you hear, oh my God, the stock market crashed. Oh dear God, oh dear God. No, it's on sale. That's a better word. And smart-minded people, they seen that situation. They're like, you know what? Hey, you know what? I'm gonna buy up all these stocks in commercial, and as long as the world comes back to normal, I'm gonna make something. It's just like it's very important to just not follow what everybody else is doing. Your wise people weren't buying toilet paper. Buy enough toilet paper so that you're good, but don't buy rolls on rolls on rolls and like just because everybody else is doing it. Like really look at what's going on and buy these stocks. It was like, I mean, like I was getting Royal Caribbean on the low. I was like, dang, it was a nice little come up. But like you were talking about, it takes the education to understand, because a lot of people that they just don't know. And I don't know everything about finances, but like I do pride myself on just listening to other people because I don't know everything.
So
I don't.
I manage a few credit unions, and the most rewarding part of my job is, first of all, I can educate my family, sort of like you're doing, but I can have these conversations with my family. I can have it with my friends so they can have the conversation with their families. And we're all going to be better off because of it. And also having conversations with people who look like me who aren't financially literate. They just don't know. So it could be a 70-year-old woman, who will have a whole lot of money just sitting in a checking or a savings account. It's like, what are you doing?
If you're not financially literate, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But people need to understand, like where to put your money. Like we talked earlier, about a high yield savings and what they're doing right now. I mean, you can get like 4.5 to like 5% on a lot of these high yield savings. It's way better than what the banks are giving you. The banks ain't giving you nothing. The banks are crooks.
A lot of what you're saying is French, though. Like, it's literally, you're talking in a completely different language. Not to everybody, but to most people I interact with on a daily basis and throughout my life. It makes sense to me because it's what I do.
Yeah.
But I say that to say, you talk about this stuff on your TikTok, correct?
I'm very inspirational. I haven't gotten into the financial aspects yet on TikTok, but a lot of my stuff has been more about comedy. It's been motivational. One of the things I talk about is having like a really good morning routine, which we can get into that in a second. But I definitely plan on veering my content towards financial freedom because people need to understand that.
And that's why I was asking, because what you're saying is so important and it's powerful. And I think people need to hear it outside of the podcast, outside of your TikTok. Are you opposed to teaching a class? Just having conversations with adults or teenagers so, we can get this information out.
Absolutely.
So we can break those generational curses.
I would love to do that.
Because I would too.
It's an epidemic in regards to like, we're so quick to just, not realizing we're making ourselves slaves.
Yeah.
We don't check the small print and realize how much, but that's the game. We don't realize how much. I mean, I'll give you an example. Even like a mortgage, even if you get like a really good percent on them, let's say you get like 2%, which is a really good mortgage. Okay. It's still a bad deal. And I'll explain why. Because if you pay it how they want you to pay it, they're killing you in interest. If you hop into a mortgage, if you can, and I know this is like my personal opinion, but I'm just telling you, like, if you hop into a mortgage, you're benefiting yourself if you pay it off as fast as humanly possible. But no one sees that. It's just, I'll just pay this a month each month, but it's like a slow bleed out. But it's like like you're bleeding. Like if you look at that statement and you realize how much you're paying in interest each month, how is it a good deal? Even at 2%.
Not just mortgage. This could be personal loan. This could be student loan. This could be vehicle loan.
Yeah, school loans.
If you can pay it off before, because the interest is what's killing you. Stop the bleeding.
But for some reason, we're just so, I'll just take on all this debt.
Pay the minimum.
I want debt, y'all. It makes me, it don't make you happy. Because you get, after a while, you get that brand new car and you ride for a few months and, hey, this is great and everything. But you get into year 2, year 3, it starts to get old. Guess what? Also, that car, it depreciates in value. And there's a really good book. I haven't read all of it yet, but it's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it talks about 2 different dads. And
I heard of it.
It's a phenomenal, dude. You got to read it. But basically, this father bought nothing but liabilities. This father bought nothing but assets. It's kind of where they ended up. So if you got 90 grand, okay, let's just say you buy a $90,000 car, or you buy a $90,000 house, and you go 15 years down the road, who do you think's more beneficial? It's the person who had the house. It's still going to hold its value. That car is going to depreciate in value. But we're all about the flash and but it's killing us, and it ends up at the end of the road makes us broke millionaires. And
it's killing us, and it's crippling our next generation, which is our children.
Absolutely.
Because we're not giving them the start. Anything. Exactly.
I mean, it's bad enough. I mean, hey, back in the 60s, black people couldn't even get a loan.
Yeah.
So there's already, we're already several generations behind in regards to, what we could pass down to our loved ones.
And black people are still rejected for loans at an alarming rate. When I talk about even in the playing field, and it doesn't have to be black and white, but people who make smart financial decisions as adults, their kids have a head start. They have a 750 credit score when they turn 18, and they got money in the savings and they're good. With me, I was 18. I got a credit card from Bank of America. I went and bought a fake chain, some Team Jordans, and a Nike sweatsuit.
Bro,
I was in debt 3 months after turning 18.
I've been there.
Yeah.
And that's the game.
Yeah.
And that's what they want us to do. They want to make us slaves off it. But hey, we'll give you all this. Delayed gratification is something, and I keep mentioning his name, Jay Coleman. I'm sure he gets into that too. But it's like delayed gratification is everything across the board. It doesn't even have to be about finances. Just about anything. If you're okay, and this is one thing too. Like I thought about this the other day. Like having your delayed gratification kind of tiered out, because it's like, okay, have something that's a month out, that's delayed gratification. Have something that's a week out, 2 weeks out, a month and a half out, 2 months out. So you're constantly, it doesn't even feel like delayed gratification because you're constantly hitting these new goals.
I want you to go into the $80 product and a $100 bill. And I forget the term you used. And then you were talked about the using the credit card and feel like you got something for free.
Yeah, this is how it works. So it's like internally, like we have pain receptors.
Yes,
so,
there is.
You know, so I go to Walmart, something costs $80, and I give them a $100 bill. I get 20 back. I felt that. I felt that pain. I felt that change, that exchange in currency. Like, okay, yeah, I only got 20 back. But when you just give, like, something costs $100 and you just give them your credit card and then they swipe it and just get it back, you almost feel like you got it for free.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's so psychological.
That's how I felt. I got my fake chain for free. I thought I killed the Indian in the middle of the mall. Like, put that calculator away. I killed you, man.
Yeah,
I'm not paying this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the bill's eventually coming in the mail. And
14 years later, they garnished my wages from that goddamn fake chain, bro. Yeah.
You feel? It's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, but that's the game, you know. But it's like, you know, but if you give them your check, even if it's a check card, whatever, you feel that pain because that's actual cash, you know. But credit is credit. Credit is dangerous, and our youth don't understand how dangerous it is. The government understands how dangerous it is, but they want, you know, first person they want to use is our youth. Because they have the vitality, they got the energy. What is work them? What does have them working? You know what I mean? It's just like it's all a game. This government's in debt, trillions of dollars in debt. So they want us in debt too. But they make their money when we're paying interest to them, and when we're paying interest to the bank, that's somebody else's passive income, and they're making money while they're asleep, while we're working. And I think we need to really put a high like priority on understanding that our life energy shouldn't be to make somebody else rich. Like when you really think about it, interest is money flushed down the toilet. If you're financing something monthly and you look at your monthly statement and $100 went to interest, and I keep using that reference of $20 an hour, Your Money, Your Life, that book, that means that 5 of your life hours, 5 hours of your life energy, you just flushed it down the toilet, and like you're okay with that? Like you should not be.
This is perfect having you here, because we never had a conversation. Without this podcast, we probably never have this conversation.
We've never conversed like this.
Never, and it probably won't happen. And that's We're not doing a podcast just to do a podcast. No, this is like we're trying to give flowers and give information out.
This is free game.
It's free game.
And like the biggest thing, like I made all these dumb mistakes. It's funny because my dad doesn't always think I'm listening to him, but like he's made, and it's like I've learned from some of the stuff that he's told me, you know. But then also, I've been in the fire. Like, oh yeah, all this debt. Yeah, it's not that cool. It's like, unfortunately, sometimes you have to experience as the best teacher. But I'm real big on just really reaching out to those ones who are like, you know what, I'm listening to what they're saying, and I'm not even going down that road. It's
just crazy. You read in my mind, because you said listening to those ones, and I was going to say, use your resources. I'm not trying to have your inbox blowing up, bro, but your knowledge is vast. And if people got questions, I would encourage them to reach out to you.
If they want to blow my inbox up, blow it up.
I had a conversation with somebody yesterday I went to school with. She was asking about just about a loan. You know, she was asking about a personal loan and what she should put for the reason. And, you know, it was like, sorry to bother. Nah, bring that on. Like, that's my passion. I want to help people.
It's never a bother.
Yeah. So blow Shawn up with with financial questions. And I'm being serious, because use your resources, because it's going to be hard to retain everything that we're saying in one podcast episode.
Right.
But you got people in position to help. And I'm not saying a position like I'm rich, nowhere near wealthy, nowhere near, but I have the knowledge
and it has nothing
of
to do
mistakes.
With being rich. I don't think people understand how rich you are if you're at the zero mark. You don't have anything, but you don't owe nobody. Mm-hmm. You're just at the zero mark. I don't think people understand how rich you really are. If you don't have a red cent to your name, okay, but you don't owe anybody, you are more rich than you realize.
I would love to be at the zero mark.
Just the zero mark.
I would love to be at the zero mark.
Yeah. That's a great place to be, but no one talks about it like that. Just at the zero mark. I don't owe nobody, but I don't have anything. Mm-hmm. That's a really good place to be, you know, just in regards to just everything.
I feel like these are very, very, very extremely important
Oh
conversations.
my goodness, it's like like debt is stress. You know, initially, like I said, instant gratification. Like you're so happy, oh, I got this, but then after a while, it's just like, oh, and you're just and before you even realize it, like you're a slave in plastic handcuffs.
And it goes back to you've been married 16 years. Debt and finances are one of the main reasons for divorces and breakups.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And knowledge and applying that before it starts to rip your family apart. The knowledge will, I guarantee you, it decreases the divorce rate, and it makes more people are happy. People are smiling. You know what I mean?
I kid you not. When we got to that place where we pretty much were debt free in regards to the consumer debt, I literally could breathe easier. It's the craziest thing ever. I could breathe easier, bro. Just from not having all this consumer debt. It's a beautiful place to be, And I'm a huge advocate of keeping the consumer debt extremely low. One of the things I think I'm big on to help stay out of credit debt is I think everybody should have some type of an emergency savings, 3 to 6 months expenses, even 9 months if you want to. Take all your expenses, times it by 6 or by 9, and you tuck that away in a high yield savings account. And you just tuck it away for when stupid happens. Because guess what? Stupid's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Stupid's gonna happen.
No way around it.
Your hot water tank's gonna go out, or this is gonna happen, or it's gonna happen. And so what happens is so emergency, like your emergency fund, is there to make emergencies just inconveniences. Man, it sucks. Oh yeah, my freaking water tank went out, so I had to pull from the emergency fund. Whatever. That's what it was there for, to keep you out of debt.
We're going to build on this, and we'll see where we could take it. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We'll definitely,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm always researching and I'm learning more too. So next time we get together, I might have more information. But just at face value, just the basics. Like it's important for our youth to just take the emotions out of it. You don't have to buy that $90,000 or like $70,000. You don't have to do that. You get something very functional for like 10, 15 grand. Like it does everything you need it to do.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's about making smarter moves because we don't realize how much debt is just bleeding us out. And like I said, you get to the end of the road, like the finish line, and oh crap, I'm a broke millionaire. I made 2.5 on the books. I worked 50 years. I made $2.5 million over the course of 50 years. I got rabbit ears.
Broke millionaire.
Where'd it go? And one of the books I read that was really, really profound, it was called The Millionaire Next Door. And it talked about how, like, we live around a lot of millionaires. You just don't know it. They don't flash it. And that's the whole purpose of the book, is it really breaks down how, like, a lot of your people, like, they're very frugal. They're driving around in Toyotas. They're wearing Walmart jeans and, like, white tees. And they got cake.
In my experience, multiple times, as it relates to like certificates or CDs or whatever, I've seen multiple millionaires, from what I see, who will raise hell over 50 cents. Like, and I'm no exaggeration. They've done their own calculations, and I got to research for hours over 50 cents. And they're not playing. So when every single coin... Mm-hmm. To the coin, not to the dollar.
They track every
to the coin. Yeah, with Walmart jeans on, and a truck with rust on it, and this rustiest truck. Mm-hmm. Facts. Yeah.
It's so funny how you look at this person. They're driving around in an Audi or whatever, Benz, draped in all this, they dripped out from head to toe, and you think, man, they must have money, and they broke as all get out. And then you look at this dude over here, he's driving a Toyota, Walmart jeans, white tee. You think, he ain't got no money, and he's caked up.
Rich.
Yeah. And it's not about, like, this game isn't about being rich. I'm big on financial freedom.
Yes.
Because with financial freedom is the escape of the rat race. And that's why I love what you're doing, because this is like, this is about going outside the box. I love what I do. Like I work. I'm a occupational therapy assistant. So it's like I work in the nursing homes. I work with like the geriatric population. I like what I do. I honestly love what I do. But it's like But is it what I was put on planet Earth to be? No. And so I feel like I owe it to myself to really put a parlay on myself. You know what I mean? Plus 5,000, whatever, and just see what I can do. I feel like I owe it to myself. You owe it to yourself. Like we all owe it to ourselves to see, like, why are you on planet Earth? Like what special ability do you have? I'm so big on that because everyone has something. And I've seen a lot of my friends, they have these nice little side hustles. Like the one girl I used to work with, like she makes cakes. She makes cupcakes, and she got a nice hustle. And I mean, like everybody knows her, and it's a nice little side hustle. I want to get into like that kind of stuff. Like I want to do that. I'm tired of doing what I'm doing. I want to do something different.
Yeah.
And that in itself is going to be a little uncomfortable. Let me be honest. Coming on this podcast, I've never done a podcast before. This was a little uncomfortable, but I'm good now. But it's like it's cool to do different stuff.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable for me. Not talking to you, but it's to your point. I love what I do, but that's not what I want to do. If that makes sense.
Is it your purpose?
No, like
Right.
honestly, Shawn, I kid you not. This feels like my purpose.
Yeah.
And whatever stars aligned and brought me here and brought us together. When I say us, I mean Legacy Lounge. I feel like this is my purpose. I thoroughly enjoy it. I went to school for broadcast journalism.
Well, there you go.
I wanted to be Stuart Scott. You know what I mean? Cooler than the other side of the pillow. And
That's what's up.
here I am 23 years later.
R.I.P. Stuart Scott.
For sure. And with a microphone in front of me, talking finance with cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is my purpose.
And I remember me and you talked, and I was talking. I was like, bro, like, when we talked on the phone, I was like, I was literally giving you your flowers. I'm like, bro, like, 'cause I watched, like, the first podcast you and Rod. I'm like, bro, like, you seem like a natural. Like, you just had it. I wouldn't tell you that if it wasn't true. You know
I appreciate
what I mean? Like,
it.
when people are actually, when people brag for you, it's for a reason. And so I was just like, yo, like, that's what's up. And what you guys have done for me is like what I'm doing is very like, it's still very just foundational, like base level. But like on my TikTok, I wanted to really replicate me and who I am. I love to make people laugh. I think laughter is the best medicine on planet Earth. When you have that ability to make somebody just gut bust laugh, like that is the best medicine on planet Earth. So if they gut bust laugh for like 10 seconds, those are 10 seconds that they weren't thinking about their problems, their stresses, their anxieties. They were just laughing.
It's funny because Bleeze is off camera, but he know when I call him. He know. His laugh is so loud. I'll call him to say something that I know he's going to die just so I can hear the reaction so I can laugh. Like it happened today. And it's a word association, whatever the case may be. I'm going to say something outlandish and he's going to die laughing, choking. My daughter can do his laugh perfect. But the joy I get, out of making my guys laugh or making anybody laugh, I feel you. Like I definitely
it's good
feel
medicine.
you. Yeah.
I love to make people laugh.
Yeah.
It makes me happy. I love being goofy. Like Shawn is wild, all right. Like listen, some of the people I work with, they'll tell you Shawn is wild. Whatever. I love that. That's my special ability. Just be,
So plug the TikTok, bro. For me, because we talked about it, but I'm about to get on TikTok, I guess. I have to.
Well, I hope so. I mean, according to what I'm reading, it might be banned in a year. Congress is passing this thing.
I've seen that today.
I want to get popping. Now all of a sudden they want to ban. I mean, it's like, come on.
But since we get these followers, we're talking about y'all want to ban,
I'm
man.
popping right now. Like now you want to get all like,
Who's doing that? Congress?
Yeah, the red and the blues. Man.
Yeah, man. As soon as Congress heard about the Legacy Lounge, man, they want to ban TikTok.
They want to get all like, oh, well, hold on here.
As soon as I get 100 likes on there, they want to ban TikTok. This shit crazy, man. Talk a little bit about your TikTok.
My TikTok primarily, and it's in the very foundational like realm, but it's just about making people laugh. I want it to be inspirational. I want it to be motivational. I haven't tapped into the whole like financial aspect of it yet, but I just want to, like, everything I do in real life, wherever I'm at, I'm just putting it on a platform.
So what's the correct handle? I'm learning. What's your TikTok name? What is it? Handle? What is it?
Just Shawn 25. 25 has always been my favorite number. But Just Shawn, the reason I called it Just Shawn is because, like, if you know me.
That's my favorite number, too, but go ahead.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 has always been, like, that's my number.
That was my pager code.
Stop it.
Yeah, 25.
That's hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
you asked my wife, I die by the 25 is anything.
25 is CJ on the phone dial.
That is hilarious. That is my.
But go ahead.
Yeah.
So just Shawn 25?
Just Shawn 25.
Okay.
I used to go by Kanye West, but that's my man. I'm a huge Kanye West fan, and we're gonna get into hip hop.
We're about to go right now. Yeah.
Okay, but like
I got to stretch.
I used to be Kanye West. Like that was. I mean, like come on, Kanye back when he was in his bag.
Kanye West is crazy.
I was Kanye West forever. But
Kanye West is wild.
Then Kanye got a little crazy. I'm like, you know,
you have to distance yourself.
Because then listen, I was Kanye West so much. People would come up to me like, yo, what's up with your boy Kanye? And I'm like, yo, I don't know what's going on.
Excuse me if I call you Shawn Wayne. Sean, yeah. Excuse me if I do. It's probably going to happen. Actually, it's a thing.
But like, I love to make people laugh. I love to motivate. I love to look at somebody and be like, I don't even know if you realize the potential in you, you know. And a lot of people are motivated to do this or do that. This one, like, everyone needs to hear it. Like, everyone equates motivation to like a level. Okay, motivation is not a level. You don't have motivation, okay? You do motivation. Motivation is a verb, okay? So let me give you an example. So like 3 weeks ago, I had it laid out. I was going to go home. I got a nice home gym at the crib. I was going to work out. My butt went to Kroger, got some beer, got some chips, some ice cream, and I went home, and I plopped myself on the couch, and that's what I did. That's where my motivation was at. It's always on 100. Your motivation's always on 100. It's not a level. You know, so like if you have these dreams and these ambitions and these desires and things that you want to do, like whatever you're doing, that's where it's at. So if you're not doing what you want to do, it's probably because you're doing what you want to do. And it's just as simple as that. You know, if you're not at that place you're trying to get to, it's probably because you know what you want to do. Your motivation is always on 100.
Yeah.
It's always on 100. What are you doing? If you really want something, it's literally like a spotlight. It's just wherever you want to point it.
That's deep.
Wherever you want to point it. It's not a level. It's a verb. It's action. Whatever you're doing, that's your motivation. Don't ever equate it to a level. It is a verb. It is action.
We're showing love. It's all genuine. We're giving flowers. But it's also connecting the community and everybody else that's going to view with the person that's across from me.
Absolutely.
And it's connecting me because, like I said, I knew Rodney. I didn't know you. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Gunna Ball Out. I didn't know G-Ride. I was nervous to do these type of interviews because I could talk to my guys. I could talk to somebody I know, but to talk to somebody I don't know, you know, that's the real beauty of things. Yeah.
It is,
and we're doing it organically. Let's say it for the world to see.
It's just happening.
Because, yeah, we're going to manifest that for the world to see, and it's just happening.
Absolutely.
And that's why, you know, the lights ain't for everybody, bro. A lot of people saying they want to, I want to get on, and then when they get on, they're duh. You know what I mean? That deer in the head, like, and I appreciate you stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing a podcast.
And, you know, I talking to Stacey, I'm like, I got some jitters. And she's like, Shawn, just be you.
Bro, every episode. Driving up here, I got them. Sitting down, I got them.
Yeah.
When we start, I got them. It goes away, but every single episode, and it's good. I want them.
That's where the growth.
I want them. Yeah, yeah. I want the jitters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every single time.
So you said imagination, you know, and adults not using their imagination. I want you to harp on that.
When we're kids, we're always using our imagination. You know, we imagine, like, you know what I mean. I used to watch Muppet Babies. This is getting real cheesy. You know what I mean? But like,
I like Muppet Babies.
All right, I was making sure. Like,
Nanny never showed her face with the long
like
red
when
hair.
your world looks kind of weird and you wish you weren't there. Just close your eyes and make believe, and you could be anywhere. As cheesy as that is, like, but that's the beauty.
Yeah.
So like, use your imagination to put, like, whatever place you want to be at. Put yourself there. Imagine yourself there. Bask in the ambience of being there. Like, close your eyes and really go there. And what happens is when you do that, and when you're doing it all throughout the day, every day, writing stuff down, like, you start to manifest that because you're thinking like that. Your subconscious is extremely powerful, and people don't realize how how powerful it is. It's always working in a good way or a bad way. It's always working. Like your subconscious is always there. And when you prime that subconscious appropriately, like you don't even know what you're capable of. You know, like you could go anywhere. Like literally, like people who have reached those levels, they thought like that. You know, Kanye even talked about it. He was like, "Listen, I played them Jesus walks. Like they thought it was trash. It was like, you know what I mean? Like he knew what he like. No one can see your dream like you can see it."
I made a Facebook post, this almost verbatim to what you said. Expecting somebody to see and understand your vision is a waste of time.
It's ludicrous.
It's a waste of time. It's your vision.
You have you seen the movie? I'm sure you've seen it. Will Smith, Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
That one part where he was leaning up on the fence and he was talking to his son Jaden. He was like, "Listen, son, whatever's going on in your life, whatever you're trying to achieve, whatever you're trying to get to," he was like, "Don't let anyone tell you can't do something." And then the key part, he said, "Not even me," his own father, because even like once again, like your own father might not see it how you see it, but don't let that deter you. Jay talked about that on one of his. He said, "Uncle said I never sell a million records. I sold a million records like a million times." He was like, basically what Jay was saying is was like his uncle projected his fear of doing that onto Jay, but Jay's like, "I can't let you do that to me. If that's how you feel, whatever. But I know I can do it." You know, and it's important to not let anyone deter you from what you feel you can do, because you see it like nobody else sees it. And it's just as simple as that. And it's just about putting the effort in, the consistency. I read this one phrase. It was the dopest thing ever. It was like, the most dangerous person who is someone who is obsessed and consistent. Like, that's danger. Obsessed and patient is what he said. Patience and obsessed. I mean, that will eventually bear its fruit, because you're not worried about when it's going to happen. You just know it's going to happen.
Man, I mean, I feel that.
Yeah.
I know you feel it back there. I know you feel it back there, because when you talk about letting nobody detour you away from your vision, and you talk about obsessed and patience, these are conversations that I'm having daily. I'm having it daily with my man, you know, with Speed, we're doing the podcast. We have this conversation daily. This is his vision. And a lot of people, not me because I know him, but a lot of people that called him crazy along the way. A lot of people that called him crazy along the way.
And if he lets that deter him, then you wouldn't even be at this point.
Exactly.
And this is the starting point, but you wouldn't even be there if you allow other people to influence your thought process. They're not going to see it how you see it.
They say dream so big that people think you're crazy.
Yeah.
That's, I think that was like Eric Thomas, but that stuck with me.
Set the bar low. Set it so crazy high. People are like, yo,
you're nuts. And then go get it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like the book Think and Grow Rich is big on that, because one of the biggest things, that's a book anybody should be reading in regards to like starting a business. Where Think and Grow Rich is, it's about tapping into your subconscious, and it's about like self-belief, and it lays out like 13 steps in great detail on how to initiate anything. And Napoleon Hill was the author, and he studied so many like businessmen, from like Henry Ford, all these people from like the early 1900s, and he did all this study, all these different people about just like success and what it took. It is because Rodney's read it. Like, it's a book anybody who is trying to like do what we do, you need to read that book. Another dope book, Atomic Habits. I don't know if you ever heard of that book. It is phenomenal. James Clear. It's phenomenal. Atomic Habits is a book that everybody needs to read. And two small things I'll get into. It talks about how creating a small habit eventually just spiders off into just a whole bunch of different other ones. Start very small, and then it just builds into something incredible. And one of the craziest things and cool things about Atomic Habits, it talked about like in regards to habits, is how we attach an identification to habits. So like, if I was a smoker for 30 years, right? And you offer me a cigarette, but I quit 2 weeks ago. I've been a smoker for 30 years, but I quit 2 weeks ago. You offer me a cigarette, right? And I go like, now you know what? I just quit 2 weeks ago, and I'm trying to, I didn't disassociate myself with that habit. What I was supposed to say is this: you offer me a cigarette, I smoked for 30 years. I quit 2 weeks ago. You offered me a cigarette. No, I'm not a smoker. See, I quit. I disassociated myself with that
Yeah.
the identification. So, with that said, so like, I'm sure you've lifted weights before, like we all have, you know what I mean? Call yourself a bodybuilder. It sounds crazy, but it's like, but it's like, well, I'm not a body. It's not like I'm going to the Arnold Classic. No, but you're a bodybuilder. Because what happens is when you consider yourself a bodybuilder, that identification, there's accountability with it. You can't be a bodybuilder if you ain't in the gym. So it's about connecting a habit with identification. If you jog 4 times a week, call yourself a runner. Yeah, I'm a runner. But the only way to be a runner is to run. And that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Atomic Habits, Think and Grow Rich, those are gems. And anybody doing the kind of stuff that we're doing needs to be reading. They're just phenomenal books.
I appreciate the game.
It's that vital. Like, they are phenomenal books, and they will literally change. I love self-help books. They've really changed me in like a lot of ways, and I still got plenty of work to do. I'm sure Stace will tell you.
So I want to talk. One of the big things I was looking forward to, amongst other things,
Hip hop.
is hip hop. I want to talk hip hop.
Oh boy.
And
well, let me put you on the spot real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
Who's your top 6? And the reason I say 6, it's so crowded.
Okay.
I had that extra slot because it's just, and I already know who your top 2 are, because our top 2 is going to be the same. But then after that, it's going to be kind of like,
yeah. Okay. You put me on the spot, but I like it. I work better under pressure. So, do you want them in specific order? Because that might be. I don't want to put them in order. I'll just give you my top 6.
Let's go the top 2 in order, because I know mine and yours are the same.
My favorite.
I already know who it is.
Of all time is Nas.
Nasir Jones, I know.
Nas is my favorite of all time. Nas was the golden child. Nas was LeBron James of hip hop. For people who don't know that, that's Illmatic was like coming out of high school, going straight to the pros. Nas introduced me to hip hop. Nas inspired me to rap. When I rap like Nas.
Nas is different.
Nas made me want to get a high and tight fade with the waves like he had on If I Ruled the World. So Nas is my favorite.
With the part with the curl and everything. I mean,
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, chip tooth, wavy. Yeah, I wasn't trying to chip my tooth, but if it happened, I wouldn't have been mad. And Nas got a chip tooth. You know what I mean? But to me, the best, my GOAT, is Hove.
Jigga Man.
So a lot of people don't understand that. Favorite Nas, GOAT Hove. Just consistency and longevity. And just with Hove, Hove is Hove. So those are my top 2.
Yeah.
We have the same top 2.
Hey, I already knew that.
All right.
So Jay-Z's 1, Nas is 2. Who you got at 3?
Jay-Z 1, Nas 2. All right. So
I know I joined you on the spot.
You did, but it's so if we're going who I think is the best or who's favorite, clarify for me.
Just who you think, we're going like top 6. Like, who do you think right now is your top 6 rappers?
All right, so
just across
Pac.
Okay. Yeah.
Pac is going to be in there. I won't give details in each one, but
yeah.
Pac is. I can listen to Tupac talk all day.
One of the most influential rappers, period.
Yes.
And that's the only. I think Biggie was a better rapper than Pac, but I have
Agreed.
Pac ahead of Biggie only
Agreed.
because
Same.
of his influence. Pac was Pac.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
He was 23, 24, and the stuff he was saying, Pac is Pac is the best way to put it.
Do you have him at 3? Or you're just putting him in the mix?
I'm putting him in the mix.
I joined you on the spot. Do you want me to get my top 6?
No, I'm gonna give you mine.
Okay, all right.
Pac, Jadakiss.
Yo, Brandon Farmer loves Jada. He's probably standing up clapping. Like,
Kiss.
He loves Jada. He always listen. When Kiss the Game Goodbye came out, I wasn't even a Kiss fan. He had me anticipating this album. I'm like, man, I gotta get this Kiss album. And Brandon got me so gassed up.
I hated the album, by the way.
Did you?
Yes.
Kiss the Game Goodbye?
I do not. I like his last solo album, Ignatius. I did not like. I thought there were huge disappointments his solo products.
I love Kiss the Game Goodbye. And here's the thing about Kiss. He's not on my top 6, obviously. I don't think his body of work, I don't think his albums.
No, they weren't.
They weren't.
No.
His discography or whatever has him out the top 6. But he's a phenomenal rapper.
Yeah. So, Big, So what's that? That's 5?
5, yeah. Okay. So who's your 6th? I already know you're gonna say. I already know.
Do you?
We talked about this on Facebook. I bet it's J. Cole.
No.
Okay.
For me,
it's not for the recent
no,
shenanigans.
not at all.
Okay.
For me, this ain't gonna be in a lot of people's, but this is just influence on me. It's AZ.
AZ Addict's probably my favorite album.
It's AZ.
You like AZ? Okay.
I love AZ.
The Firm.
Nas and AZ.
Show
like
elegance,
that.
hate females with no intelligence.
Yeah.
Embezzlement, got big voice inside the metal.
Yes.
AZ,
yeah.
AZ could go crazy.
AZ could go crazy. Like AZ's on Life's a Bitch. Like that's when AZ came out, and
That was on Illmatic.
That
right?
was on Illmatic. Yeah. Like losing weight, whatever, losing calories, and my mentality is money orientated. So that would be my top 6.
And I respect it.
Okay, let me hear yours.
Okay, I got Jay at 1.
All right.
Nasir Jones at 2. By the way, and you'll love this one. When you look at Nasir Jones, he spans 4 decades. He honestly, legitimately could be like rap's GOAT, and there's no debate.
The music that he just dropped, the last the King's Disease and the Magic,
it's fire.
They're all fire, and I've been thinking about like that. He's GOAT.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
So Nas never really fell off. He's still putting out heat rocks.
Heat.
That's what's insane.
Heat.
4 decades. So anytime someone says, "Hey, Nas the GOAT," I don't even say nothing. That's the only person I'm like,
I'll never argue
Ever.
against that ever.
And my thing is if you don't have Jay and Nas in your top 6, I'm not even talking to you.
We don't need to talk.
Just stop it. Stop. Get some help.
Or just don't talk hip hop.
Just don't talk hip hop.
Or not with me. But,
Talk pop. Whatever. Do what you got to do. So I got Jay at 1, Nas at 2. At 3, I have Andre 3000.
Okay.
Andre 3000 can spit. He can spit. Now here's the problem with that. Well, I'll get that in a second. So at 4, I have Eminem. Eminem got bars. Okay. At 5, I have Pac, and then at 6, I have Biggie.
Okay.
And here's the thing. Like, Pac and Big can maybe eventually slide. I have to give credit to the people who have the longevity.
Yeah.
That's why Nas is never going to be behind Pac and Big, because he has a catalog that spans 4 decades of consistent heat. And unfortunately we lost Pac and we lost Big before their time, but like, you can't penalize these people that give you that consistency. Now with that, I kind of contradicted myself because 3 Stacks doesn't have this catalog that I like, but that boy can spit.
I mean, but 3 Stacks was a part of a group of 2 that went diamond.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's goated.
Andre 3000 can spit. Like, I mean, like, that's one thing about my top 6. Like, you can't say that they don't have versatility. Like, they got it all.
Yeah, so here's because there's so many different things for criteria that you can use when you say favorite or best.
And it gets so subjective.
Yeah, because if we're talking lyricist, like I consider myself a lyricist. Right. If we're talking lyricism, you cannot have Eminem in the top 6 because if we're putting words together in that format, M's one of the best that ever did it.
It's insane.
It's insane.
It's insane.
But I don't get anything from Eminem's music. Nothing. I get nothing from it. That's why he's not in my top 6.
I think that's why it gets so subjective.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at my top 6, like especially my top 4, they all can spit. I mean, obviously Pac and Big too, but I just mean like there's a level of versatility with Jay, Nas, M, and 3 Stacks. It's just everything. Pac was who he was and Big was who he was, but like them top 4, and that's the thing. Like M gives you his version of hip hop according to his lens, which is cool. You know, it's not going to connect with everybody.
Yeah,
it's just not. I'm just looking at rhymes and bars in the whole body of work.
Yes, and that's different.
He's got it all.
Okay, now I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Love it.
Top 3 albums in order, all time.
Oh my goodness. You really just put
Ain't nothing in there, bro. Ain't nothing in there.
Ain't nothing in here. I'm just talking about some time. I'm over here like,
ain't nothing in there.
Why you call me out like that?
You on your own, bro. Ain't nothing in there.
It was a drop. Oh, wow. Reasonable Doubt is always very special to me. I think that was a dope album. And I love how Jay talked about it on Volume 2. He was like, I gave you Prophecy, my first joint. Y'all lamed out. Like, I gave you the gem and y'all ain't even see it.
Yeah.
Illmatic's probably in there.
That's 2.
I have to think about that third one. Honestly, I love Biggie's Life After Death.
Okay. So, I don't know too many albums better than Life After Death.
It was just, I mean, listen up, I got a story to tell. And he just went in.
So, and the great debate is, and this is, what's the better double album, All Eyes on Me or Life After Death? Because All Eyes on Me is crazy.
Yeah. And that's why, like, and it's funny because I like Big more than Pac, but I have Pac a notch ahead of Big because Pac was so influential.
Yeah.
Pac was Pac. And you just knew it. He didn't care. I mean, he was just like, he was a phenomenal actor.
He was good. Everything. Speaker. He could have been anything he wanted to be.
That boy put in work.
Yeah.
You know.
But All Eyes on Me, that's when he got out and he hooked up with Death Row and they gave him everything. Like, whatever beats you got, whatever songs you got here, they go into Pac.
Yeah.
And I can't even, to this day, I couldn't tell you what's better out of Life After Death or All Eyes on Me. They're both that good.
Top. You know, and I love Blueprint. Like the Blueprint 1
Yeah.
album. I mean,
Yeah.
hip hop is just so different. Like, these young kids don't understand. Back in 2001, Jay came out. Okay, first off, he came out on September 11th. He dropped on the same day that the towers fell and still sold over 400,000 copies. Dude, dang near went gold when this country's being attacked. That's crazy.
That was a masterpiece, and it was right on time.
And then in December, Nas came with Stillmatic.
Yeah.
Which, you know, and it's just like hip hop back then was just, but see, back then you didn't know what was going to happen because coming off of Big and Pac, and unfortunately what happened in those events, like Nas and Jay are looking at each other like, hey, is this about to go to the gun game? And it's just, I'm just glad it didn't get to that. And it's just like it was just them dissing each other back and forth. It was such a vibe. Like this is crazy.
I couldn't stand Jay
back then
because he came at Nas. Yeah, and I was in school. I was at Kent. I was at Kent State when the towers dropped, and me and Mikey Lamb, we would ride around and listen to the Blueprint. That's all we listened to.
Take over.
But I remember when Stillmatic, it was in December, we was just about to go home for Christmas break or whatever. Ironically, I never went back to school after that. But anyways, and Muhammad Hassan, who I went to high school with, elementary with, all of that, he lived like 3 doors down. He had a CD burner. Mobb Deep had just dropped the Infamy, and Getaway had just came out as well. That was all 01 as well. But then the Ether came out. Yeah, that was vindication for me. Like, yeah.
You needed that.
Yeah, that's what you get. And I didn't really, I mean, that was for me. Like, yeah. But I didn't really appreciate Hove. I appreciated Hove, but I didn't get into Hove's The GOAT until just that. And then, you know, Black Album and.
With Jay, there's a lot of looking back and like, oh. And a lot of people don't understand how deep Jay-Z is. The fact that he doesn't write any of his rhymes down. He'll be in a corner and he's just like, he talked about it on Blueprint 1. Like, he does it like an exercise. Like, he does 2 bars and he just keeps saying them. He keeps saying them. He keeps saying them, and then he adds to it. And it's just an exercise. Like, he does it all in his brain. But like his wordplay, his double, triple entendre, it's insane.
Some people don't have time to sit down and decipher what he means in a double or a triple entendre.
Don't look at it just at face value. Because he's saying a lot of stuff, and he's saying there's a lot of double, triple, and it's like, oh.
It's outrageous.
Like, I even schooled my one girl I work with him on this. You know, like he said it on the Watch the Throne album with him and Kanye. He was like, you know, when you earn hard as me, eventually you hit a big wall. And it just isn't when you earn hard as me. When you earn hard as me, like Dale Earnhardt.
Earnhardt, you hit a big wall. Yeah.
And it's like people don't understand fully what it's just like, oh. Because I showed her, she was like, oh.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The wordplay and it just like, Jay, that's why he's number 1, because he's so deep with how he does it. Did you know he wrote the whole Still DRE song?
Yes. I just had a conversation with my man about this.
Wrote the whole thing.
Yes, I just had this conversation.
And it's so funny. And I look back and it's funny how you can tell certain rappers and their styles. Like looking back, I know, forgot about Dre. I know M wrote Dre's whole
You could
verse.
tell M wrote that.
It sounds
yes.
like M.
Yes.
A Mill on Can I Get A? You know Jay wrote
Yes.
that. It sounds like Jay. You know, and the cool thing about that is Jay looks at it from this standpoint where I get to, for 16 bars, I get to just be a woman and through the woman's, you know, scope and just kind of, it gives him a whole nother lane to just talk about, you know, but you can tell, Mel didn't write that. It sounds like Jay.
You couldn't tell it was still DRE. You could tell it was still DRE?
Slightly.
See, I couldn't. Like, he even wrote Snoop's, like, the still hitting the corners and the low lows.
So, like, I didn't realize it at first, but when they said that Jay, when Snoop came out and said that Jay wrote all that, when you look
now
back.
You can hear it, yes.
Okay,
yes.
It does sound like Jay. So, yeah.
Yeah, but he tapped into being Dre. Like, tapped into being Snoop.
It's cerebral with him, bro. And it's just insane. So, I got Jay, I got Nas, I got 3 stacks, M, Pac, Big. And it's just like, hey, that's subjective. Not everybody's going to agree with it. You don't have to. It's fine. But everybody in my 6 can spit. All right.
Well, that's good. That's the good thing about hip hop is
it's awesome.
It's exclusive to the ear of the person that's listening to it, and there's no right or wrong answer. Yeah. You can't argue. You know,
but it's just so like I don't think people like Kanye from like 2003 to like 2011. That dude was in his bag. My goodness, between the producing and the rapping, it's just like. I know he didn't write all of his rhymes, but like he was at his best when he was working with Consequence and Rhyme Fest, and it was him. And you could tell like he kind of bit Consequence's like cadence and kind of style, but Ye was Ye, and it was just My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy that came out in 2010, I believe. I mean, just a masterpiece.
Masterpiece. Ye in his prime was
his catalog is bonkers.
You up there with anybody. Bonkers. I mean, if you listen to Watch the Throne, I don't know if he was writing the rhymes or not, but he's bar for bar like, with Jay. He's with him.
Yeah. 2011 was the last Kanye West sighting. After that, he changed.
So did you hear the Like That remix?
I didn't like it.
With Kanye? Yeah, it's trash.
Yeah,
I mean, you're a Kanye fan.
It's not
Shawn Ye.
Yeah, it's not the
trash.
I was just, and you know what makes it even worse? When I bump College Dropout, Late Registration, like it just makes me mad because this is not the guy. Like the guy I'm hearing now, it's not.
Nah,
it's not him.
Nah,
you know, and he's been through a lot. So I mean, I'm not judging him or anything, but I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I just want what you was always giving people,
and that's the beauty of Nas. Yeah. Nas is still giving what he's always giving people.
He's
still giving it.
He started in the early 90s, and here we are, 2024, and he's still putting out
giving
albums that are hard.
He's giving it, just like from Live from the Barbecue.
And it's just like, it is just amazing.
So I want to go modern day.
Okay.
Because you and I text about the Drake diss, the push-ups.
Push-ups.
And it's crazy, again, all subjective, all opinions.
It's all subjective.
It's easy to hate Drake.
I don't hate Drake.
No, neither do I, but it's easy to. I'm a fan. I'm a fan when he raps. The singing ain't for me, but I'm a fan when he raps. Mm-hmm. But I say that to say when I listened to the diss, the first time I said it was mid. It's decent. I'm like, you got to come harder. Then I listened again.
Oh, he went in.
Then I listened again.
Yeah, he's got a lot of.
And then I learned the subject matters in which he was spinning these words.
Just the whole drop of Give Me 50 is so it's in regards to like Kendrick and how his marketing and all that. It's all connected. I love how he's like, niggas got me really out of talking like I'm 50. Because you know, we know 50 Cent will just rant. Like Drake went in.
Everything he said was like an entendre. It's crazy. And I seen somebody say it wasn't complex enough. I'm like,
you didn't listen enough.
No, honestly, that's one of the most as far as making something seem simple that actually hard is one of the most complex songs I've heard.
Yeah. And let's just look at it like at face value. He knows who he's going against. Yeah. Kendrick ain't no small fry.
No.
So you think he's not coming? You really think Drake's coming mid against Kendrick Lamar? And by the way, Kendrick ain't dropped yet. That's going to be nuclear. I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming because he's not going to keep taking this stuff from Drake. Because not only did he drop, first off, Like That was free. I love Like That. Like That had a lot of layers
amazing. To it. Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people act like it was mid. Like Kendrick brought it. Kendrick, I know he's not your favorite artist. Kendrick is like that. Kendrick is like him and J. Cole are like knocking on that door to me at that 6th spot. Like they're like, hey, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to open up and get in there, but they're there.
If you ask me tomorrow, J. Cole probably is in that 6.
I know you, because I can tell from Facebook.
Yeah, I mean,
I know that's your guy. And
I'm
I totally
a
respect that.
huge J. Cole fan, man.
Like Brandon Farmer, he really put me on a J. Cole, because when you look at J. Cole from Sideline Story up until now, his evolution, he just gets better and better and better. And that's the beauty.
He's hitting his prime now. Yeah.
The only thing he messed up on was this whole diss thing.
As a man, I commend what he did, because so many times people let people put a battery in their back, and then they end up in a situation that they can't get themselves out of.
Right.
You know, because they're influenced by others. Mm-hmm. He stayed true to himself and to his spirit. He didn't want to do it.
He did.
And when he did do it, because it was peer pressure, internet and friends alike, who pressured him to make the diss that he made.
He was very transparent.
Yes.
In why.
So as a man, I think that takes more courage than actually doing the diss.
Because he probably understood that this is going to get a lot of backlash.
Yes, and to stand up and be yourself, regardless of feedback or outcome, or you know what I mean?
That's why I do still respect him. I'm still disappointed.
Yeah. Now, as an artist, I'm disappointed because he act like he wanted smoke. You've been talking 2 years about whoever wanted smoke with you. You got smoke for him.
That's all I'm
saying. Then when the smoke came, you start coughing.
Yeah.
And you apologize.
That's all I'm saying. You're skydiving and you're in a plane. Once you drop out of that plane, there's no going back up. It's gravity from this point. You can't go back up. So it's just like chess. If this is what you're going to do, just stand on that. If it's not something you want to do, I would have so much more respect for him if he just, Kendrick, he didn't even really diss J. Cole.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
But he
really didn't. Yeah. The big three. Yeah, that was, yeah. But other than that, he didn't say nothing about Cole.
Indirectly, he kind of did. He was like, niggas clicking up. But I love how Kendrick did that whole verse. Mm-hmm. It was very petty. Like, clicking up. Like, oh, you guys are all.
Yeah, like, oh, he was moaning on there. Yeah.
Like, look at you and J. Cole getting together. Oh, you guys are so cute. Like, it's clicking. Kendrick is very, like, have you listened to Pimp a Butterfly?
No.
That album is phenomenal, CJ. It is phenomenal.
Yeah, I can't.
Good Kid, Mad City?
Yes.
That's
actually people consider that one of the best hip hop albums of all time.
Like, Kendrick saved West Coast hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like Game came through and did his thing, but Kendrick came through and like really reestablished West Coast hip hop. To Pimp a Butterfly, like, listen to that. It's such a dope. What he does is, like, he goes through the whole album. It's like a story, and at certain parts of the album, he keeps reciting this poem. But as he goes through the album, he recites more and more of the poem, and then more and more of the poem. It's dope. And then
I don't know why, because I know what he can do. Like, he's nice. He's like that.
Kendrick can spit.
Yeah, for sure. He's anybody you mention right now, he's up there with anybody. You can't say anybody's really better than him. I don't know. I just didn't. I'll go off a feel and vibe. I just didn't get what I was needing. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He has a song on there called "How Much a Dollar Cost." Off to Pimp a Butterfly. It's just one of the most. He's on it with Ron Isley. It's a very thought provoking song. It's deep. It's really deep. But that album is phenomenal. I mean, Good Kid, Mad City is his gem. But like right behind that, I feel like this. Kanye did College Dropout, and he freaked out because it didn't get the accolades it should have. But then Late Registration is like he got all of his flowers. Good Kid, Mad City. It's not that Kendrick didn't get his flowers. But when he dropped To Pimp a Butterfly, that's when everybody came in, and that's when he got all these critically acclaimed awards and everything. But it was because they kind of slipped and didn't realize how good Kid, Mad City was. Same with College Dropout. College Dropout is a freaking gem. Late Registration. Kanye's discography, literally from 03 through 11, is just top tier.
And it's the same with Reasonable Doubt. Jay didn't get his due until Annie came out. And then these people start, and it's ironic because in 01, in 2000, we was listening to Reasonable Doubt, but we was just now listening to Reasonable Doubt.
We're just getting caught up.
Yeah, and like I was literally just getting caught up 4 years later to Reasonable Doubt, and he talks about that.
I love how he was like, "Gave you prophecy, my fortune, y'all lamed out," because a lot of people kind of glazed over. They didn't really like listen to it. Volume 1 might have been a little bit weaker. It had some cuts though. Like that one cut, "Where I'm From."
Yeah, where I'm from, you must love me.
Where I'm From, like, he was like he went
Yeah,
in on
went
that
in.
second. That second verse on "Where I'm From" is probably one of the greatest. It's one of my most. I got a question for you. So, what's your favorite Jay-Z album? Because I know, mine's a little bit different. Not too different, but
Reasonable Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt your favorite.
Yeah.
I know that Reasonable Doubt and Blueprint 1 are his gems. My favorite is probably Volume 3.
We talked about this.
Yeah, Volume 3.
Me and you talked about
it
this,
holds
yeah.
a special place in my heart. It's just something about it. Career crook. Nobody rap Brooklyn like me. Chicken Man Volume 3. Who rapping like me? He just went crazy.
Volume 3, that was
Big
Come
Pimpin',
and Get Me was on there.
Get Me, Big Pimpin'.
Dope Man.
Dope Man.
Okay. Yeah.
Stupid Tracks Juvenile.
Yeah. Volume 3 is hot. Yeah.
It's so hard.
Dope Man is one of my. I mean, the intro to Volume 3 is crazy too, but
Oh, yeah.
Dope Man is one of my favorite.
7 Degrees of Separation of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Murderers first. I mean, he went crazy on that.
Over the God should be rapping.
That is my favorite album of his. I know what his gems are. I know Blueprint 1 and Reasonable Doubt are his.
It's just the like regrets. Can I live? Like in '96, he said it gets TDS, so I keep one eye open like CBS. Like nobody was saying that back then. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But like, can I live in regrets? And Dead Prez.
That song with him and Big.
Yeah, Brooklyn's Finest. Yeah, just the 22 twos. Where 22 twos. Yeah. Like when he's saying 22 times, like
look
that's
at your casket, feeling sarcastic. Look at him. Still
sleeping. Yeah, that's
literally said 22 too. Yeah, I mean, he went crazy.
Yeah. So Reasonable Doubt for me. Favorite Nas album.
I'm gonna say I Am.
And I Am got bootleg. That was supposed to be a double disc.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know this.
Yes. I Am was. You don't know if you ever heard Lost Tapes.
Yeah.
I Am was. They say I Am might have been the greatest double disc of all time, and I've read that a lot.
That's why it was called Lost Tapes, because I didn't realize.
Yeah, it got bootlegged, and it was a big deal.
Did he have a song there called Do Rags or
yes,
whatever?
Yeah. Project Windows, Papa Was a Player, Drunk by Myself.
I forget.
Yeah,
those were really good songs.
No, those were supposed to be on the double disc. Rewind, which is one of the best hip hop songs of all time.
I mean, come on,
yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is It Was Written.
I lied. That's what I meant to say. It was written.
Okay.
I'm getting it mixed up.
Okay.
I Am had Hate Me Now. I'm talking about it was written because that had If I Ruled the World.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shootouts, Taken in Blood, Suspect. Yeah.
Yeah.
People say Illmatic was the best.
Nas is coming.
Yeah, people hate Nas is coming, by the way. I just was reading yesterday about I don't know if you ever heard Silent Murder. So Silent Murder was on the CD, but it wasn't on the tape.
I don't know that.
Yeah, Silent Murder.
That's why I like talking to you about Nas, because you know Nas more than I do.
Silent Murder is crazy. Silent Murder is one of my favorite Nas songs of all time, but a lot of people were saying that Silent Murder should have been on instead of Nas Is Coming, and the Street Dreams remix with R. Kelly should have been on instead of the regular Street Dreams, because the Street Dreams remix is crazy too.
I like the Street Dreams remix, but I really love just the regular Street Dreams.
No, it was perfect for the
Video,
album.
Pink
yes.
Suits, Robert De Niro, Casino vibes.
Casino, yeah.
I mean, it was just necessary.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, that is my favorite. It Was Written is my favorite Nas album. Just the intro. And then going into
to the message. Yeah. Fake thug, no love, you get the slug. Yeah.
I mean, Nas goes.
Yeah,
and these young kids, they don't understand.
No, and I get it because I wasn't checking for Big Daddy Kane and Rakim,
and that's the thing. And so I want to be very objective. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good. No, I'm just saying I don't get it. I mean, I do get it. I understand why the young kids don't feel the same way about Nas and Jay-Z as we do, because I didn't feel the same way about my uncle's favorite rappers. Right. You know what I mean?
You got Rakim, you got Big Daddy Kane, you got KRS-One.
Yeah.
Like, the originators, because hip hop pretty much started in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I feel like it went nuclear in the 90s, though.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Everything went nuclear in the 90s. Like, commercialism was at an all-time high. I mean, through NBA, everything was just like, the economy was just so good. Like, the 90s was just like a nuclear time.
Yeah, and I'm not I'm not the old head that clowns the young people for their music because it's all an art, and I get something from that music too. Now I still dip into the crates, but I listen to some of this new stuff. I
Like,
bob my
like
head.
Future, but like I remember you and Ryan talking about Future. Like he ain't ever gonna be in my top 5.
Nah, but he's goated to a generation and a half below us. He's their guy.
They love him, but
they love him.
In the grand scheme of things, Future ain't top 50.
No.
That's
No.
what it is.
But impact.
But he's a vibe.
But if you're talking impact, right?
Impact.
There's a lot of Future clones out here right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Future clones right now.
I always come back to just the bars.
Yeah.
Just the whole body.
Because
work.
that's
but
our
what
era.
He does.
Yeah.
I listen to Future, and it's just so funny because like. I hate how all these people. I mean, Drake beef with her. I don't even know who. If Drake put out another album, I don't even know who. The only person he can call for feature is J. Cole.
Yeah.
He didn't kill everybody else. He had everybody else's neck.
Who else? Yeah. I mean, literally everybody else. And that's another thing. Back to the J. Cole. Like, Rick Ross is 48 years old, and they doing Instagram beef. Like, J. Cole excused himself from a cat fight.
Yeah.
Like, they acting like women.
And
J. Cole's bars, you're like, man, I don't want to be a part of this. Like, because it's not. Kendrick ain't responded yet, and Drake and Ross are doing like skits.
Kendrick will respond. No, he doesn't have a choice.
Well, come on, Kendrick.
I remember because you and Rodney was talking on the thing. You was like, do y'all think Drake's gonna respond? Back then, before he had responded,
right?
I remember commenting on y'all's thing. He had to respond to that. Cole didn't have to because it was more indirect in him. I think, honestly, like, because me and Brad talking, I think like, Cole and Kendrick are friends. So what I think will happen, and what will confirm that, is when Kendrick drops his diss, if he says anything about Cole, then they're not friends. If he leaves Cole out of it, they obviously had a.
This is all before Kendrick apologized and everything. If Cole. You want blood, I'm sorry, Cole. If you want blood, you're not about to get it. Between Kendrick and Cole, just like you said, they're friends. You're not about to get bloodshed on that particular beef.
I don't know what he's about to do to Drake, though.
That's another story, but
he's coming for Drake.
But come on with it.
Name drop Kendrick's wife. I mean,
yeah, there's no coming back from that. Yeah, it was clever. It was clever the way he did it.
He really did it too. And that's the thing. Like, Drake's not in my top 6, obviously, but like I respect everything Drake does. Drake has had a heck of a run since 2008.
Yeah.
Is that when he dropped Thank Me Later? I mean, Drake's been relevant for literally 16 years.
And he's a competitor. He didn't have to respond. Drake's bigger than life.
Like, and it's like, and that's the cool thing. So you can say, oh yeah, he's a rapper and he sings, but he also has in his bag, like he can battle rap.
No, I mean, he's battle tested.
Yeah. He put Meek to bed.
No, he did.
And then from what I'm hearing, he wasn't allowed to release that diss track against the diss track against Pusha T.
The Pusha T thing,
I already had something that was like next level, but he wasn't allowed to put it out because Pusha came at him.
He did.
He got real personal.
But and I think I forget who it was. It might have been like Joe Budden, or it might have been like Academics or one of them. But you're like, how do you beat Drake? Like,
he's just so popular.
Yeah, like Consensus Push won the battle, but he didn't beat Drake.
Drake he didn't respond.
No, it's Drake. Drake can't lose.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge Drake fan, but I'm a hip hop fan.
In a position, like they're calling him Drano's right now. Like Thanos, like he's that guy.
No, he's that guy.
He is that guy, and it's like that's why I was telling my one boy who was a huge Drake fan. I'm just telling him like when Kendrick does release this diss record, it's gonna be nuclear because it has to be.
No, it better be.
It better be.
It has to
like,
be.
If I'm coming at Drake, I gotta try to take his head off.
Yeah. And Drake is pulling the B-Rad. Yeah. Like, he's saying all the stuff about himself that he thinks Kendrick's going to say. He's trying to get in front of it.
And what I'm also going to say is this, because everyone's like, well, where's Kendrick? Where's Kendrick at? Let's keep in mind, okay, Like That dropped on March 22nd, okay? Drake did not respond for literally 3 weeks and a day. So objectively speaking, we have to at least give Kendrick at least 3 weeks and a day. And I know Drake did this thing, so like Drake waited he waited 3 weeks and a day, and then he dropped Push-Ups. And then about a week later, he came out with that other diss record, which I thought it was clever. I know you weren't feeling it. Like it's the whole AI thing for you.
Yes.
It's getting out of control.
No, it's clever. It's clever.
It was clever, and that's why I'm letting it slide. I liked how he used Pac and Snoop, and they're like, "Yo, K-Dot, what you gonna do?" He come. I thought. See, to me, the second, if that would have been his first, it's mad corny, but because it was his second. basically he's telling Kendrick, hey, I dissed you. Like, where you at?
It's art of war.
At the same time, Drake can't do that because, like I said, he waited 3 weeks in a day.
All right, well, 3 weeks in a day, man, I don't got time, man. We don't even know we're going to wake up tomorrow, man. Kendrick, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
He needs to, and like, back in, was it 2012 on that Control song, Kendrick talked about like how he had love for all of you. Like he talked about Drake. He talked about Big
but he's trying to
Sean.
kill him.
He's trying to kill him.
Yeah.
All. So like, this is your moment. That's why I hope Drake fans understand that when Kendrick does drop this dick, it's going to be nuclear because it has to be.
I agree.
It can't be mid. It cannot. It'll end Kendrick's career. He has to bring that heat. That's why you haven't heard it yet. This is the calm before the storm.
Well, we're going to see.
Drake is going to Kendrick is going to attempt to take Drake's head. He's going to try to decapitate him.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
About his moms, his dad, his kid. He going in. I mean, and here's the cool thing. This is what makes me mad about Cole, because I didn't even think that this was that good. I didn't think Cole's this was even all that. I don't think when he took the direction of coming at Kendrick's discography, that wasn't the wisest direction because Kendrick's got some gems. I didn't like that.
But I think matter of fact, I know that's why he apologized. Because he realized that was corny and he didn't mean that. That's just a part of dissing.
He should have just went on a different direction. Because, I mean, Kendrick's Good Kid, Mad City.
But it's hard. It's hard to go in a different direction and diss somebody that you like. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah. Like, it's...
And that's even though I understand Cole messed up, I do respect the fact that he stayed true to his son.
Yeah.
And he just came out like, hey, you know what? And he even said it when he was talking to that audience. He was like, Kendrick might have something for me. I'm gonna stick my chin out.
Take it on the chin.
And just take it. But he basically let him know I'm not going to say anything back. That's why I think Kendrick, he'll just leave Cole out of it.
So, all right, well, we'll do this. If Kendrick responds before we 60 years old, then we could come back. Yeah, before we 60, we could come back on here and talk about it.
I give it another week.
All right, well,
and then he's gonna drop.
Okay,
it.
well,
I even told my boys he might be about to release an album, and it might just be.
They said he is, but
it might just be track 2.
No, he got to put it out before the album.
You think
he has to?
He can just put it out on his album.
Yeah, that's corny.
Put it. Now, how is that corny?
Put it out before the album.
Put it on your album.
Put it out before the album. Then
Maybe
drop,
that's why he's waiting.
Just respond.
Like Ether, track 2.
Yeah.
Just put it out there. Okay?
Yeah, now this is different anymore. Leak it.
Because you figure, hold on, because Jay dissed Nas in September 11th. Stillmatic didn't drop till December.
Yeah, but that was 25 years ago.
You right.
Drake's doing AI and everything. Come on. But yeah, if it happens, before
I give it another week.
All right, I hear you.
Can't keep waiting because everyone's like, Kate, you on the clock? Like, what's up? Like, we want to hear what you got to say to this. Not only did he use one diss track, he did another. You have to respond to that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It'll be Kendrick's career if he doesn't respond to it. He has to respond.
I mean, and he's a methodical dude. Anyways, he pops up, he sneak disses somebody, then he disappears for 2 years.
Them two been sneak dissing for about 8-9 years.
A decade. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing their little jabs, and that's why I love how I like that he was like bump sneak dissing first person shooter. I hope they came with 3, and he just went in. Like,
yeah, but. I mean, obviously, me and you could talk hip hop for hours. That's the beauty of things. But again, man, I wanna thank you again for coming on.
Hey, Moon, this has been a pleasure.
I want to say how much I appreciate you.
This has been an experience
for being uncomfortable.
Yeah, like I said, like I've never done a podcast before, and I'm happy to say I've done a podcast now, and I did come here a little jittery, and it's funny because this kind of atmosphere. This is what I love doing this, and I was still a little jittery, but the fact that we did this, and like you said, I think what you said is profound. You said every time I sit down, I'm a little like, but there's a beauty in living in that world of being uncomfortable.
Give me the Jim Carrey line.
Jim Carrey said he is at a point in life where if he's not uncomfortable, he doesn't feel like he's living life because he understands like that's where the growth is at. He doesn't want to be comfortable. He wants to be uncomfortable. Like that's where he wants to be at.
There's comfort in being uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's where the growth's at.
That's real.
Like, I can lay my head down tonight. I'm like, hey, I was a little nervous. I did a podcast. You know what I mean? It's just the craziest thing ever. But like I said, I'm honored that you had me on. And one last thing I think will be nice for us to do, because we got this. It'll be dated, time stamped. It's like I have goals. I have things I want to do. I know you want to. It would be cool for me and you to come back on this podcast a year from now and kind of look back on this video and see how much we've progressed from this podcast. You know, so that kind of holds us both accountable. It's like, hey, a year from now, so back in 2025, hey, so like where are we at now? Like how have we leveled up from this podcast?
We're sitting here recording a time capsule.
That part.
Yeah.
That part.
My man.
I love this, man. This has been awesome. This is
My
awesome,
man, I appreciate you.
For real, man. Thank you for having me on. This has been
being here.
This has been an experience, and this has been really, really fun. And if you ever have me on again, I promise you, I'll have more to talk about. Me and you can BS for another
Love
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours.
Yeah, for sure. That's love, man. I appreciate everything.
Absolutely,
my man.
Absolutely.
Hold on, CT. Before we go, I need you to drop. Sometimes that was too hard. I need you to just drop a 2-second legacy. Like I'm gonna put it before the handshake. Just your take on the Legacy Lounge. What we learned today on the Legacy Lounge. Like, what your legacy, leaving your legacy. So we learned anything, leaving a legacy, boom, whatever you do. You're on your main camera.
All right, so it seems that the theme is it's okay to be uncomfortable and, you know, to remove yourself from your comfort zone. And we talked about the jitters that I have every time we do a show or something like that. But what we're doing here at the Legacy Lounge is I'm connecting with people that I wouldn't probably otherwise connect with. And I'm learning from them, and we're getting them out there to, you know, people that know me, and I'm getting out there to people that they know. But the point of it is, let me start over, bro. Let me start over. So the theme of this show seems to be being comfortable with being uncomfortable and stepping outside of your comfort zone. And the Legacy Lounge is way more than a podcast because it allows me to connect with people that I otherwise maybe not have connected with if it wasn't for the podcast. And it's letting people, you know, not be nervous and to get their voice out there. And we might be able to change one life. If we impact one person with this podcast right here, then that's a win. And then we're going to build off that win going forward. And all in all we're trying to do is impact our legacy. We're lounging, we're talking like men, and we're talking about ways to impact our legacy. That's what we're doing. It's the Legacy Lounge. Holla at us.